app and on Watch ESPN. Download the app or visit watchespn.com today. Our production coordinator, Dave Dobson, had to confiscate our devices because you were too locked in on Pitt and you thought I might pay attention to Notre Dame today. I mean, come on,
He's
Dave.
tough. He's tough on
we
us.
can't read the promo and then not use it.
That's right.
Sean Wilson back to return. He has a kickoff return for a touchdown on his resume this year. He broke one against the Irish. This one sails over his head for a touchback. Let's check in with Chris Cotter back in the studio.
All right, Eamon, I commend John for being focused on Pitt and not on what's happening in some of these other rivalry games going on around the rest of the country, because they've been exciting. How about Austin McGinnis with a game winner for Kentucky, beating Lamar Jackson and Louisville. 7 wins for Kentucky this year, and the big one in the shoe. In overtime, J.T. Barrett scores first for Ohio State. Now Michigan has the ball. They got to score to keep this game going on ABC.
All right, Chris, what a surprise. Louisville falling to Kentucky, but no surprise that Michigan and Ohio State living up to the hype. Now Daniel Jones, the redshirt freshman, looking to throw, complete to Ramming on the slant. He gets out near a first down. TJ Ramming, but Daniel Jones thrown into duty a little bit earlier with the Achilles injury to Thomas Sirk, but he has responded from the get-go.
Well, there's no teacher-like experience, and Daniel's getting that great on-the-job training this year, and he's handled it really well over the last couple of weeks, protecting the football much better than he did earlier in the season.
Duke thinks they can move it in the air, but they want to be balanced and able to run it. Now they give it to, Jones keeps it, does not give it to Ramming, and he gets the first down. Talking to defensive coordinator for Miami, Manny Diaz, yesterday, that's one thing that jumped out to him is Jones's ability to run it.
They must account for the quarterback run, and they've had to deal with that throughout the season, but you get a different kind of runner at a 6'5", 210-pound redshirt freshman quarterback in Daniel Jones. You'll see that in third and short yardage, red zone. He'll be a factor running the football.
Ball marked down at the Miami 30s, excuse me, the Duke 36. Miami showing pressure. They get rid of it quickly to Ramming. Looking for a block on the outside. He gets across the 40. So TJ Ramming has become the favorite weapon in the last 2 games. Back-to-back 100-yard games. Picks up 5 on that play.
He's explosive, and he can create separation for Daniel Jones. That's what he'll need to see consistently on the outside, but you may want to go away from Corn Elder and maybe attack Malik Young to the wide side of the field.
Now Ramming in motion, going away from Elder. Play fake to Wilson. Jones rolling out, complete to a tight end. Big hit, but they make the catch. Daniel Helm. Catch number 63 on the season by a Duke tight end.
Nice decision by Daniel Jones. After the play action, he goes to the wide side of the field, allows his tight end to kind of settle in the zone, and he finds him. Big hit at the end of that play by Jenkins, but the tight end Helm holds on.
Tight end position, a 3-headed monster, very versatile. They'll line up all over the place. Now Wilson following the block of Eric Schneider. Nice spin move. He's got the first down and then some. One more block to get, pushed out of bounds at the 16. But Wilson with the burst.
What a move at the point of attack by Sean Wilson. He hits it off the left side on the zone read, the little pirouette move, spin move right there. I guess he hit the B button. 26 yards later, he's down the sidelines, and Jamal Carter saves a touchdown for the Canes.
And now Duke in the red zone on its opening drive. Back to, no, Jones keeps it. It's down to the 11. Malik Young with a tackle, pick up a 5.
Eamon, this is where you have to account for quarterback run, and it's going to be difficult at the tempo and pace that Duke is going. Doing a great job in play action, and right now they have Miami's defense on their heels.
2nd and 5 from the Miami 12. 6th play of the drive for the Blue Devils.
Remember, size is a big mismatch in Duke's favor with the tight end.
Now they throw it out to Chris Taylor. Gets hit hard, but holds on to the ball. Down to the 5. Gerald Willis brings him down hard, but he picks up 7. And a 1st and goal for the Blue Devils.
Duke is doing a great job going north and south and sideline to sideline. They're stretching this Hurricanes defense out.
Ramming to the short side, twins to the wide side. Wilson in the backfield. Miami showing pressure. Jones looking to keep it himself, finds a seam. Down to the 2. Good patience by Daniel Jones. They say the ball came loose. They're calling him down.
Looked like the officials ruled that Daniel Jones was down before the ball comes out. Hurricanes disagree, but Duke continuing this drive inside the 5-yard line.
You see the turf in his helmet. Manny Diaz telling us yesterday, one thing we know, he is tough. Holds on to it again. And takes another beating as about 4 Hurricanes got a shot at him.
The 2 guys up the middle, Kendrick Norton and R.J. McIntosh, holding their ground, the 2 defensive tackles for Miami, and that allows that edge speed to close in on quarterback Daniel Jones.
Manny Diaz telling us that duo has probably been the 2 best players and most consistent players for the defense all year. A lot of attention to the trio of freshman linebackers, but they have done their job to make the linebackers' job easier. They're looking for a surge from those 2 again here on 3rd and goal. Ramming in motion. Flag on the play. Jones rolls the pocket to his left and throws it away. Get flag on the play.
Defense may have been in the neutral zone.
Offside, defense number 41. Half the distance to the goal. Replay 3rd down.
So a mistake defensively for Miami is going to give Duke a break. It was going to go to the wide side of the field. Miami does an excellent job of covering up the skill receivers for the Blue Devils. But now the ball at the 1-yard line.
Sean Wilson behind Jones in the pistol has just 4 rushing touchdowns on the year. And now a whistle before the play. Did Duke flinch? Yes.
False start, number 80. 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
Well, that's on Daniel Helm. And again, we talked about the injuries on defense. On offense, they're going without one of their better running backs in Jalay Duncan, who's out for the year.
Yeah, they're missing one of their guys that they depend on in this offense. And I know that David Cutcliffe wants to stay away from those mistakes. He said, Miami's tough enough. We can't beat ourselves, especially when you get the ball inside the 5 at the 1.
So 3rd and goal. Schneider, the tight end with 3 touchdowns in the slot to the right. Here comes pressure over the middle. Touchdown, Duke. Jonathan Lloyd with the grab. His 3rd touchdown reception of the season.
Well, that's a great throw. Good protection. Quick pass on the mark to Jonathan Lloyd. You have to be precise, and everything happens a bit quicker in the red zone when you get inside the 5-yard line. That's just a terrific job against a really good safety in Rashad Jenkins.
So A.J. Reed on for the extra point. And the Blue Devils lead 7-3. An impressive opening drive by the Blue Devils and Daniel Jones.
Great job by Daniel Jones. He was precise throwing the football. He ran it well, but inside the 5, it's Jones to Lloyd, and the Dukies have an early lead.
ESPN College Football, brought to you by Jared, the Galleria of Jewelry. And Jiffy Lube, we do more than just oil changes, all in a jiffy.
Some of the images from last year's game that we already revisited. Again, Miami getting a chance to celebrate an improbable victory with that kickoff return that'll be one for the ages in this rivalry. As Dawn Davenport detailed for us, really no hangover for this Duke program. Coach Cutcliffe said he didn't have time to think about it. And the players seem to have moved on as well. Thought, isn't that over a year ago?
That's right. I think some of the Miami fans want to hang on to that memory a little longer than the Duke Blue Devil fans.
Edwards and Lewis back to receive. This one looks like it'll be returnable for Lewis from the 6. Gets across the 20. Brought down at about the 28, which is where the Hurricanes will start for their second drive, down by 4. But now let's check in with the studio and Chris Cotter.
All right, Eamon, 4th down for Michigan in the first overtime. They've got to score here, and they do. Amar Darboh going down to get this one to tie it. They go to a second overtime. Michigan kicks a field goal in the first half. Ohio State has the ball now. Meanwhile, over on ESPN News, USC Notre Dame, the Irish with Deshaun Kaiser. They scored to take the lead.
All right, Chris. What a gutsy play by the Wolverine offense. 4th and goal on the road.
Living up to the hype.
Keep that game going into a second overtime. Now Kaya looking to throw. Complete to Coley. At the marker on the sideline.
Here's a nice example of the arm strength by Brad Kaya going to one of the best playmakers in the country, Stacy Coley. Remember, this guy is a freshman. I thought he would just tear it up and light his career up as a Miami Hurricane, and he's battled back from some injuries the last few seasons, and he's having an outstanding year.
155th career reception. Here's a seam up the middle for the first down for Walton. Wolf and Walton mixing it up there at the end of that 5-yard gain.
A couple of changes up front for the Hurricanes. Casey McDermott moving out to left tackle. Tyler Gauthier at left guard, providing some nice running room early for Mark Walton.
This Miami team really leaned on Walton in the running game to put away NC State a week ago on the road. Now Duke loading up the box here with Giles Harris and Humphreys. Now they back off. Miami goes back to Walton. He has a huge hole for the first down into Duke territory. Humphreys with the tackle. And that was an easy 15 yards for Walton.
Duke stunning to the short side of the field, and the Miami offensive line said, if you're going to go that way, we might as well take you. So it was a great job of getting to the second level by the Miami Hurricanes offensive line, and another explosive run for the Canes.
From the Blue Devil 41, a new first down for Kaya and the Canes, trailing by 4 as we approach 5 minutes left in the opening quarter. 5 on the play clock. Walton to the right, looking to turn the corner, stops on a dime and heads upfield, but good job by the Blue Devils to string that play out.
I think that was Corbin McCarthy. You called it, Eamon. A guy to the wide side of the field for Duke, didn't lose his leverage to the outside and forced the running back, Mark Walton, back into the inside to where the Blue Devil defenders were coming.
Kaya with time, steps up, throws into double coverage and knocked away by Brian Fields. Looking for Njoku. Brian Fields got his hand on it.
This is a tight window that Brad Kaya is going to try to find his 6'4" tight end in the short side of the field. 3 white jerseys around, so an excellent job by Fields going up to time the pass breakup for the Blue Devils secondary.
3rd and 10. Duke again showing pressure with its 2 linebackers. 10 on the play clock for Kaya. They back off. Kaya throws underneath to Coley, who makes the catch. Looks like he's going to be short of the first down by a yard. Mark Gilbert brings him down, so now Mark Richt has to make another decision here on 4th down.
I think the offense is going to stay out. They're going to try to go tempo and get this play going here on 4th and very short. With Kaya at quarterback, most times you eliminate quarterback runs, so your focus right now is on Mark Walton.
Twins to the right, out of the shotgun. It is a quarterback run, and he gets it. Runs over Terrell Lucas. Don't want to say runs over, runs into Terrell Lucas, and his momentum gives him the first down.
Did I say most times? Most times you eliminate quarterback run, but Brad Kaya does an excellent job. He reads Corbin McCarthy selling out for Mark Walton and is able to get the 1.5 yards for the first down. I wouldn't be surprised now you get a tough 4th down conversion. Maybe you go over the top and try to find Stacy Coley or Amon Richards behind coverage.
Coley all the way up at the top of your screen. Richards bottom of your screen to the left. 8th play of the drive. Kaya looking for Coley, looking for 6. Makes the grab, but out of bounds. Mark Gilbert on the coverage. True freshman out of Fayetteville, North Carolina. But they took the shot.
Brad Kaya had exactly what he wanted, and Coley had a step to the wide side of the field, and I think the ball really brought Coley out of bounds. He had exactly what he wanted in coverage. He has a step and a half, but that ball takes Coley out of the field of play. That was 6 points there with a good throw.
Brad Kaya started 3 of 3. He's 2 of 6 since. Facing 2nd and 10 with Twins to the short side. Make that to the left. Play fake. Kaya again all day. Lofts it up, has a man open. Touchdown, Mark Walton on the wheel route. 30 yards. And the sophomore continues to show he can do a little bit of everything.
He can do everything. What a play by Mark Walton. Manned up against Giles Harris, the linebacker. Just a little wheel route and great protection for Brad Kaya by this offensive line. Stretches out, catches the football, great concentration. And the quarterback knows he may have missed one on first down, but he gets one back on second.
Badgley on for the extra point. And Miami back on top. The offenses are in a rhythm early.
9 plays, 72 yards. Brad Kaya on the mark. 30-yard reception from Kaya to Mr. Everything. Mark Walton lays out for the Canes and gets the lead.
Be sure to kick off your Week 12 NFL Sunday with us on ESPN. At 10 a.m. Eastern, NFL Insider Sunday edition has all the early breaking stories and injury news. Then at 11, the Sunday NFL Countdown crew takes you right up to kickoff. Also streaming live on the ESPN app and watch ESPN. And the grounds crew here at Hard Rock Stadium has its work cut out for them to get ready for the Dolphins.
It's going to be difficult to turn this around. The Dolphins host the 49ers on a 5-game win streak, have not won 6 since Nick Saban was the head coach of the Miami Dolphins, 2005.
I've heard of that Saban guy. Didn't he go on to do something?
Yes.
Wilson brings it out. Gets to the 15, and he is brought down there. Some good coverage by the Hurricanes. Let's check in with Chris Cotter in the studio.
Ohio State, Michigan. 4th down in double overtime. Ohio State goes for it down 3. And J.T. Barrett, did he get to the line to gain? The officials say yes. And on the very next play, Curtis Samuel finds a gap along the left side and scores. Game over. Ohio State wins in the shoe, guys.
Lived up to the hype and then some. Controversy in the game. I wonder if Michigan and Ohio State can meet again in the playoff. 2 teams out of the Big Ten.
Penn State and Wisconsin may have something to say about that.
Quay Man now in the backfield in the pistol behind Jones. Jones was perfect on the opening drive, completing all 5 of his passes. And they swing it out to Lloyd, who caught the touchdown pass, and he gets it out to the 20. On Jones's touchdown pass, he tied Dave Brown for most touchdown passes in a season for a Duke freshman quarterback. Brown did it back in 1989. He had a very good career with the Blue Devils before moving on to the NFL, most notably with the New York Giants. 4-yard pickup. Hurricane showing pressure off the edge. Here it comes. Jones to Ramming on the wide receiver screen. He has an alley across the 30. He could go the 50. All the way down to the 32. Rayshawn Jenkins brought him down, but TJ Ramming hit the hole hard.
Sometimes it's the little pass plays, the screen plays that end up getting to be explosive plays. This one goes for 49 yards, and TJ Ramming did an excellent job of getting behind that offensive line, who had 2 excellent blocks in the open field, and Duke in Miami territory again.
It's that versatility that the offense coordinator Zach Rober told us about. Now they run it up the middle for a short gain. Quay Man with the carry. And again, of course, there'll be plenty to talk about on Tuesday night. Can Michigan still get in without playing in the Big Ten championship game? Of course, Penn State has to take care of its game with Michigan State. So still plenty of dust to be settled. Now Joseph Ajibi in the backfield. Quickly. Out to Aaron Young, make it ramming.
I like what Duke's doing offensively, and offensive coordinator Zach Roper. They're really making Miami run to the football. And a massive substitution here for the Canes.
Picking up the tempo where they set. Flag on the play. Now it's Aaron Young with the grab. And a late flag. So he got hit late out of bounds, and the first flag could be too many men on the field for the Hurricanes.
Terrible decision at the end of that play by Johnson, the safety for the Canes.
So plenty to sort out here for our ACC crew, led by Riley Johnson.
Offensive coordinator Zach Roper for Duke is doing a great job of keeping the Miami defense on their heels.
There are 2 fouls on the play. Illegal motion, offense. 5-yard penalty. After the play was over, personal foul, late hit number 5. The penalty is half the distance. Automatic first down.
Here's the late hit. It looks like a good 2 or 3 yards. Aaron Young's on the sidelines, and Johnson, the safety for Miami, comes out and just lays him out. So that's going to move the football inside the 20 to the 15-yard line for the Blue Devils.
Really on a play that never should have counted.
It's exactly right. You had 5 yards going the other way against Duke.
So the Blue Devils will take that break. Another first down in the red zone. They spot the ball at the Miami 15. The GB in the backfield with Jones. Jones is going to run it. And he's going to get tackled at the line of scrimmage. Chad Thomas brings him down.
There's that interior speed for the Miami defense tracking down Daniel Jones. He's had some success with some called quarterback run plays, but good speed by Chad Thomas from the backside of that Canes defense.
Thomas had 10.5 tackles for a loss to come in to lead the team. That was not one of those because it was at the line of scrimmage.
This is where you might want to attack Malik Young in the passing game.
Now Jones rolling out to the right, looking to throw. And he cannot get away from Quarterman. Shaquille Quarterman brings him down.
Eamon, one of the trio freshman linebackers for the Miami Hurricanes, coming out of the middle, and I'm not so sure if he's not a little banged up after the play as Duke tries to go up-tempo again, and the Hurricanes will take a timeout.
Wow, the quarter was going to end. Did they take a timeout?
Miami, first charge to this half.
Wow, so Miami takes a timeout, even though it looked like Duke wasn't going to get that play off, but better safe than sorry, obviously, for Mark Richt.
Well, you don't want to give away an easy one, but you're right. It looked like it was coinciding with the end of the quarter.
So we're going to step aside as well. Back to Miami after this. So now, after second thought, the refs have realized that the quarter had already ended before Mark Richt asked for the timeout. So that'll do it for the first quarter. So everyone's going to head down to the other end of the field. Mark Richt's going to get his timeout back. And we're going to play the second quarter of football. But first, we're going to take another break. Miami has the lead. Duke is on the move. Back here at Hard Rock Stadium, Hurricane faithful starting to get loud. Again, just to clarify, Miami was not charged with the timeout, so they have all 3 timeouts remaining here in the first half. 7th play of a Duke drive as the Blue Devils look to regain the lead here, but they're facing a 3rd and 8. Quarterman backs off. Here comes pressure. Up Jones's face, has a man open in the end zone. Did he hold on? Touchdown, Duke. Aaron Young with the 13-yard grab. 2nd of the season.
How about the protection and the poise from Daniel Jones and the tough catch from Aaron Young? Great job of sliding in the pocket, keeping his eyes downfield. And Aaron Young with a tough catch over the middle. Jones wanted to go to his left side, scan the field, look to the middle, and a strike of a throw. Jones is still perfect on the afternoon, 10 of 10.
The extra point is good. We have a back and forth affair underway here in Miami. An 84-yard drive puts the Blue Devils back on top. And now let's take a look at this week's college football rankings brought to you by PlayStation. And I don't think it's all that inconceivable that, Ohio State and Michigan stay put after that tremendous game.
What a game at the shoe between Michigan and Ohio State. Ohio State finds a way to get the win in overtime. Double overtime, 30-27. Alabama looks like the only team that can beat them is Alabama right now, although in rivalry settings you never know what's going to happen. But I know one coach around the country is a lot happier the way his team has responded. All week David Cutcliffe talked about, can our team have response ability? And after a tough loss last week, 56-14 on the road at Pitt, the worst loss this program has had since 2010. They found a way to respond early here, up 14-10.
Yeah. It's tough to compete against Pitt when they're going to put up 76 points in a game like they're doing right now against Pitt.
Was Jerome Lane playing today? I think Charles Smith?
I think Charles Smith went for 20 and 10, and Derek Coleman went for a double-double as well. Returnable for Lewis from the 5. Gets out to the 20, taken down at the 23. So now it's Brad Kaya's turn to return serve.
The one thing about the Hurricanes offensively, they're not shy about explosive plays. They can get right back into this game in terms of taking the lead in under a minute, under 2 minutes, because of the way they throw the football around the yard and Brad Kaya's ability to find playmakers like Stacy Coley on the outside.
As you mentioned at the beginning of the program, Jim Knowles, the defensive coordinator for Duke, telling us they make more spectacular plays than anyone I've ever seen.
Just clip on any tape of a game this year, win or loss.
Now Gus Edwards gets the call at running back. And he gets the carry here to the left, breaks through, across the 30, gets a first down. Brought down by Alonzo Saxton, with a 12-yard run for the redshirt junior out of New York City.
Great changeup for Miami offensively when you can have the lightning speed of a Mark Walton and followed up with a thumper like Gus Edwards.
Out to the 35. Now Kaya over the middle. Catch is made. Now he loses it. Richards loses it. And
he may have gotten that football back.
He looks like he's the one who got it back.
Young and talented is Richards at the wideout position. He secures the football initially, then a great job by Byron Fields ripping that football away from the freshman, but he gets it back.
Richards last week setting a Miami record for most yards by a freshman wide receiver, passing Michael Irvin. Now the Staten Island product again picks up a first down. Let's check in with Chris Cotter in the studio.
All right, Aim and John, we take a breath here and move on to round 2 during rivalry week, and it's the Iron Bowl. Jalen Hurts, plenty of time to throw, checks down to Damian Harris. He does the rest, takes it in 10-3 right now. Alabama on top of Auburn, first quarter.
All right, Chris, now a 1st and 10 for the Hurricanes. They try to keep pace with the Blue Devils here in the first half. Duke bringing pressure up the middle, picked up, Kaya, complete, back to Richards. Again, Fields with the coverage.
The one thing you notice when you watch Miami play, when they're rolling, the ball's getting out on time, and it's on target. When they struggle is when they struggle up front, because Brad Kaya's inability to move from the pocket and extend plays with his legs.
Herndon now in the backfield as a tight end. And they go back to Edwards, who gets another first down. So Gus Edwards has provided a spark to the running game on this drive. Came in with 38 carries for 216 yards and a touchdown. From the Duke 40. Kaya to Coley for a gain of 5. Mark Gilbert with the coverage. John, I know they're inexperienced in the back end, but they got to figure out a way, I would think, to put some pressure on Brad Kaya.
Well, they have to figure out how they can add 1 or 2 to the pocket and make that ball come out contested in the back end. a little bit more cushion than you'd like, but as a freshman on the corner going up against Coley, you'd rather have that ball completed in front of you than over your head.
7th play of the drive. Coley at the top of your screen, Malcolm Lewis to the right. Kaya all day. Good coverage, although a lot of contact, and there's the flag. So Mark Gilbert, the true freshman, had to hold on for dear life.
I'm not so sure Mark Gilbert needed to grab Stacy Coley. It seemed like he was in pretty good position on the corner, but he got a fistful of jersey.
Pass interference, defense number 28. The ball will be placed at the spot of the foul. Automatic first down.
This one a pretty easy one to indicate for the officials. Left hand, right hand. Both hands get a fistful of number 3.
Talking to Jim Knowles this week, he said, look, Mark Gilbert has not flinched. He's filled in for Breon Borders, a true freshman. He has been up to the challenge.
He competes.
Again, another huge challenge going up against the senior Stacy Coley. So now 1st and 10 from the Duke 25. Malcolm Lewis with the grab in the flat, gets a block. Gets inside the 15. And Joku on the perimeter doing a good job with the blocking game. Gets a first down.
Outstanding by the Joku, and also Braxton Berrios out in front, it looked like.
Pickup of 11. Down to the Duke 14. So another methodical drive by the offense here. Defenses have yet to come up with a stop. Back to Edwards, and now they're ready for it. Humphreys had some penetration to affect that play. Mike Ramsey with the tackle. There's an injured Blue Devil. Looks like it's DeAndre Singleton, and the senior from Georgia. You talk about one guy they cannot afford. Wow. They are already inexperienced in that back end. So we're going to step aside as they tend to DeAndre Singleton. Back to Miami after this. Taco Bell is a proud partner of the College Football Playoff. Be on the lookout for Taco Bell student sections and passionate fans like these at games all postseason long. Hurricane faithful out here on Thanksgiving weekend. A beautiful day in the Miami area. Brad Kaya back out onto the field with the Miami offense. Duke has had 2 possessions, 2 touchdowns. Miami on its 3rd possession has a touchdown and a field goal. Now facing a 2nd and 8. Edwards remains in the backfield, but Kaya's looking to throw. Again, has time into the end zone. Knocked away. Looking for Coley. No flag this time. Mark Gilbert getting challenged again.
You talked about Gilbert earlier about not flinching. He had the pass interference earlier, but he doesn't flinch against one of the top receivers in the country. May have had that arm on Coley again, preventing him to get to the football. But you're going to have contact, especially when you get to the end zone. That one not called.
10th play of the drive. They're matched up again, bottom of your screen to the right. When do they take a shot into Joku? He's in the slot being guarded right now by Corbin McCarthy.
He may have been open on that 2nd down try.
But they're going to run it right up the middle. And the Duke linebackers are ready for it. Edwards gets stopped by Humphreys. And A.J. Wolf in on the play as well. 4-yard gain. So a conservative call there on 3rd and long. And another injured Blue Devil. And that's number 14, Brian Fields, redshirt junior cornerback. This could be a Pyrrhic victory for this defense to force a field goal, but lose Singleton and Fields.
You mentioned earlier in the broadcast, Borders gone from the defense. Edwards gone from the defense. Feemster gone from the defense. So the back end for the Blue Devils already thin.
With 2 tackles, excuse me, 2 breakups on the season, has 3 tackles here in the first half. Looks a little Woozy coming off, couldn't really see. It was a massive pile up on the run. Badgley is out there for a 25-yard field goal attempt to bring the Hurricanes within 1. Kick is up. And it's good. So again, points for the offense here in the first half. Miami has to settle for their second field goal, but they pull within 1.
ESPN College Football, brought to you by K Jewelers. For 100 years, every kiss begins with K. And Progressive, making it easy to bundle your home and car insurance.
Welcome back to Hard Rock Stadium. There's a look at what happened part of the pregame festivities here as the band got ready to enter the stadium. The band founded back in 1933, Frost School of Music. You know, John, when you step into the stadium, you certainly can get the feeling and that the community just wants this team back the way it was in the elite in the old days. And, you know, they got a Hurricane running the show, Mark Richt, that they're starting to believe in. Now Wilson from the 1. Across the 20, out to the 24. So earlier this week, the Duke program received some good news as the quarterback Thomas Sirk, who was injured this summer, received the 6th year of eligibility. For more on that story, we go down to the field and bring in Dawn Davenport.
We talked to him before the game. He is super excited to be back for another year and spend it with his teammates. He has actually been really instrumental in Daniel Jones' development. They are very close. They watch film together. They dissect defenses together. Daniel told me he's helped to give him valuable perspective on how to play the game. Coach Cutt has seen the benefits of that relationship. He said his development at reading defenses, at making better decisions, that's a testament to Thomas Sirk. He's big for him.
And here he finds the open tight end, Daniel Helm. You know, it was interesting to, further that story. Coach Cutcliffe telling us that the happiest guy to hear that Thomas Sirk had an extra year of eligibility was Daniel Jones.
That's right. He's been a mentor to Daniel, and Thomas knows coming back that both guys know the returning starter is Daniel Jones, and that's going to be his job going into next season.
Jones gets hit, but he gives it off to Wilson, who gets the first down. Hard running by Sean Wilson. And again, Jones got popped. 8-yard pickup.
If there's one thing we figured out this year in watching some of the games and having Daniel Jones and the Duke team earlier this season, he's a tough competitor. He's taking his shots, but he's getting better and better since that middle game of the year. He is protecting the football, and he's doing what he needs to do in decision-making to make this offense work.
Came in with 123 without an interception. Looking to throw here. Now he's got to run for his life. Wow, is that... No, they say out of bounds, incomplete. But boy, did he fit it in there looking for Chris Taylor.
There's no question that Daniel Jones has a big league arm. This is a guy on the run going to his left side. Not so sure there was a toe down on the sidelines. A good job on the perimeter by Redwine, knocking him out of bounds.
First incompletion of the afternoon for Jones. Wilson in the backfield in the pistol. They get it to Wilson on the screen. Across the 40. And he is brought down in the open field by Zach McLeod. So a 2-yard gain brings up 3rd and long as the Hurricanes have a chance to get the Blue Devils off the field for the first time this afternoon.
Great example of team speed, and talking about speed, Duke going again at a high tempo, trying to catch Miami in a substitution.
4 wideouts for Jones, the tight end Copenhagen in the slot to the left. The Blue Devils have picked up their 2 third downs already here in the first half.
Somebody has to get home from Miami here on 3rd down.
Now the linebackers back off. Here comes pressure, and he's hit. Joe Jackson with the sack. The ball came out at the end, and it's going to be Miami ball. So Jackson with the sack, Chad Thomas with the recovery.
Jackson gets home. He finally gets to quarterback. Daniel Jones right around the corner from Corona. The ball pops out. Looks like Daniel Jones lands on top of Jackson. Miami gets the football in great field position.
Miami. That play is under further review.
His knee's down.
He didn't land on top of
He
him.
might have. I thought it looked. Yep, we're on break.
I had to keep going.
No,
with
I know.
it.
No,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah, I mean, that's the only question is 99 under him.
Oh,
No, he's down.
yeah, it looked like it hit.
Yeah.
This replay looks like
This
he
re-
landed on top of him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the other angle looks like his knee did hit.
So again, they're looking at it upstairs. If it stands, it's a Chad Thomas fumble recovery, his second of the season. The sack will certainly stand, which will be Joe Jackson now with 5.5 sacks. But John, you mentioned there is certainly an angle where it looks like the knee might have been.
Initially, it looked like Daniel Jones landed on top of the Hurricane defender. Here's the replay from behind the quarterback. It looks like his knee does touch the ground right there,
Yep.
and he possesses the football. So I think Duke's going to regain possession of the football. Terrific job of getting to the quarterback by Joe Jackson. Excellent job of getting around Sterling Corona with that speed rush up the field. But Daniel Jones on that pit replay from behind looks like he possesses the football as his knee touches the ground.
Joseph Underwood upstairs has given his decision down to Riley Johnson.
After review, the quarterback's knee was on the ground before the ball came loose. It'll be 4th down and 14 at the 36-yard line. The game clock is correct.
So Duke very happy to punt right now.
That's what defensive coordinator Manny Diaz was looking for out of this defense today. They wanted to try to get to the quarterback, trying to harass Daniel Jones and force him into a turnover, but a great job of protecting the football, and it's a big break for Duke because the Hurricanes would have had excellent field position.
Danny stirred on for the first punt of the ball game. Braxton Berrios back to receive. Good high kick. Berrios makes the fair catch signal and comes up to the 28 to make the grab. So now off the first defensive stop of the game, Miami will get the ball back when we return. It's rivalry weekend, and tonight at 7:30 p.m. Eastern on ESPN, we'll have the Palmetto Bowl between South Carolina and number 4 Clemson from Death Valley. The Tigers look to keep their college football playoff hopes alive with a win over the Gamecocks. As always, it's also streaming live on the ESPN app and watch ESPN.
Deshaun Watson looks like he's going to take his talents to the NFL next season. He's trying to go 3-0 against the Gamecocks.
Miami comes out in the I formation. Mark Walton back out there for this drive. And they send it out to Coley. And again, Mark Gilbert comes right up and makes the tackle. So they're taking plenty of shots at the freshman. And he has not backed down.
I know at this point of the season you're no longer a freshman, I guess, but he's played aggressive against one of the better passing games and one of the better players in the country in Stacey Coley so far through a quarter and a half of play.
Good to see DeAndre Singleton, the senior out of Georgia, back out there at safety for Duke. Can't see Brian Fields, the cornerback, just yet.
I think it's time for the Hurricanes to get the tight end involved in this game.
Duke bringing pressure on Corbin McCarthy. They run away from him. Now McCarthy brings him down. So they run Walton to the left, and Duke with good penetration.
Good team defense by the Blue Devils. There were 4 or 5 white jerseys around the ball carrier that time, and Mark Walton, led by Corbin McCarthy. And you said, Eamon, this defensive secondary has been depleted. They come in to this game on the road after giving up a ton of points last week, 56 points. So they need to get a stop here when they're in the chains. Miami's behind the chains here on 3rd and long.
Trips to the right. Kaya looking left. Now he's forced out of the pocket. Almost intercepted. trying to throw it away, but McCarthy almost lunged for it. And now all of a sudden it's an offensively challenged ball game. Back-to-back punts.
We haven't had a punt in a long time, and now we have two in a matter of a minute. 4th and 15 for the Hurricanes, and Duke returns serve with a nice defensive stand.
Ryan Smith back to receive the punt of Justin Vogel. He drives Smith back to inside the 20, makes the grab, but cannot get by the first wave of defenders, so no out kicking their coverage there. Good coverage after a good kick by Vogel. Duke ball when we return. Rivalry weekend continues with more football later tonight at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific on ABC. Number 15 Florida, number 14 Florida State live from Tallahassee. Florida State has won 3 straight in the series. As always, it's also streaming live on the ESPN app and watch ESPN. Not too many Gator or Seminole fans in the stadium here right now, I would imagine.
Think so.
Jones keeps it himself right up the middle. Gets out to the 20 and then just driven down to the ground.
Going down the middle.
Quarterman in there involved.
McLeod, one of the other freshman linebackers, trying to tee off on the freshman quarterback Daniel Jones, but a good gain on first down for Duke offensively.
Wins to the short side. Taylor to the wide side. Wilson in the backfield. Here comes pressure from Miami. Now they give it to Ramming on the jet sweep. And he's going to lose yards, it looks like. Trent Harrison on the play.
Great penetration by Harris. Talk about always setting an edge defensively as Duke tries to hurry up here on 3rd down. Good job by Harris staying at home, and now Miami in this crowd inside of Hard Rock Stadium trying to come alive to get another stop, and more pressure on Daniel Jones here on 3rd down.
Look for Ramming in the slot to the right or a tight end in the slot to the left. Here comes pressure. Looking for Ramming, and he makes the grab for a first down. He got open on Rayshawn Jenkins.
That's a beautiful throw by Daniel Jones. Right over coverage, left hash. He's looking right the whole way. Enough touch and zip to get it over Rayshawn Jenkins on the 3rd down conversion. That's how you coach it right there.
15-yard pickup. New set of downs for Jones and the Blue Devil offense. Wilson right up the middle. Down at the 39.
It's about his arm strength. And this time, not only the strength, but to have the right trajectory to get the football over the coverage. And a perfect pass beats good coverage and great coverage all the time.
2nd and 6. Jones keeps it himself. He's got an alley for the first down. Does not slide and moves it out to midfield.
I'm not so sure if Daniel Jones ever played baseball, but he needs to learn maybe how to get down, because in the secondary to the second level, he's running free. Maybe get that 1 or 2 extra yards isn't going to matter if you're on the bench, but that's a tough play by the freshman quarterback.
I know he was a solid basketball player at Charlotte Latin High School. I don't remember baseball popping up on the resume. But you know, John, you bring up his high school pedigree. It's worth repeating. All right, not only was he not supposed to be the starting quarterback this year, we talked about Thomas Sirk, but there was a time not that long ago where he wasn't even going to go to Duke. It looked like he was going to go to Princeton.
That's right.
Until his high school coach, Larry McNulty, sent Coach Cutcliffe his tape.
One of those guys, right spot, right time, and he's seizing the opportunity as a freshman and getting better week by week.
Play man in the backfield on 2nd and 6. Pressure up the middle. Dropped by a tight end. Looking for Eric Schneider.
I mean, those are the simple plays when you take a look at the game. You may forget, but those are the ones that move the chains, that stall drives. And Duke's going up tempo here on 3rd down.
No way was Miami ready for that one. This is a free play. He overshoots Ramming, but there's a flag. Manny Diaz is upset with the officials. Mark Richt talking to them as well.
Illegal substitution, defense, 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
There's a look at Manny Diaz.
Miami had a boatload of players on the field, and I'm not so sure Duke substituted on the play. They had the personnel on the field, so Miami doesn't get that opportunity for a free substitution, and the officials don't hold up the play, and that's going to cost them 5 yards. And what was a 3rd and medium, now a very makeable 3rd and 1 for the Blue Devils offensively.
And you would have to guess that's really their only argument for Miami.
That's
that
right.
Someone was substituting coming off the Duke end. So Quayman in the backfield. They go heavy with 2 tight ends. Miami stacks the box. Man gets the first down, still moving. So tough running by Quayman down to the 35. Jenkins with the tackle after a 6-yard gain.
Duke takes advantage of that penalty of the 5 yards. 3rd and very manageable with 3rd and 1, and man moves the chains for the first down.
So another time-consuming drive by this Blue Devil offense. Started with about 6:53 to go. And now he's got no shot, but he gets rid of it at least. So good call by Manny Diaz there on that blitz because he rolled right into it.
When you run play action and you turn your back to the line of scrimmage against the Hurricanes and their speed, boy, you need to react quickly as a quarterback because Rayshawn Jenkins gets on you in a hurry from the safety position. We haven't called TJ Ramming's name in a while. This might be an opportunity for the freshman quarterback Jones to find that sophomore blanket on the outside.
Copy your screen to the right. Miami showing pressure again from the edge. Here they come. Picked up for now. Jones knocked down at the line. Gerald Willis, 6'4" redshirt sophomore out of New Orleans with a vertical.
Sometimes when you know as a defensive end you can't get to the quarterback, get those arms in the passing lane, and that's exactly what Willis did on 2nd down.
So 3rd and 10, right back up at the line. 3:14 left to play. No talking over what play they're going to run on 3rd and 10. They're up and ready to go. Almost intercepted in the hands of Quarterman. Looking for Copenhaver.
One of those freshman linebackers just staying at home, reading the eyes of the quarterback. He drifts to his left, and boy, love to have that one back. That had a little heat on it. Went right through the hands of Quarterman.
Duke, first charge to this half.
Now Duke takes a timeout on 4th and 10.
Timeout.
Their true freshman kicker, A.J. Reed, has had a tough year, so they're not going to rely on him to kick a 52-yarder. So while they talk things over, it gives us a chance to send it to the studio and check in with Chris Cotter.
All right, Eamon, here's what Jonathan Vilma and I will be talking over once we get to the Dave & Buster's halftime report. Obviously, that huge game in the shoe, Ohio State, Michigan. It was a classic. We'll show you highlights and post-game reaction from that one as well. Also, the Iron Bowl going on right now, and Auburn's giving Alabama a game. Highlights from that one. Plus, what are the scenarios now with the Big Ten, with Michigan State and Penn State playing, also Wisconsin in action against Minnesota. See you then.
All right, guys, looking forward to that. Obviously, plenty to wrap up. Some controversy in the game between Ohio State and Michigan. But, you know, you just hear Jonathan Vilma. And
I was just thinking the same thing. I'm sure he's enjoying the play, not only today, but the trio of freshman linebackers, the way they play with instinct, toughness, kind of what Miami wants to do on defense and where they want to get back to be as a program.
That was the mantra for Manny Diaz when he took over. Grew up a Miami native, and he said, look, the standard's very high here. Play like a hurricane. And now they're looking for a stop on 4th and 10. Let's see what Coach Cutcliffe comes up with out of the timeout.
That means getting to the quarterback on 3rd down.
McLeod showing pressure up the middle. Low snap. Jones, no chance. He is dropped for a loss. Joe Jackson again. But that was more on the snap, I think.
Low exchange in the shotgun. Drops the eyes of the quarterback and drops the football on the ground. That's the last thing you want to do when the heat is coming in the pocket. Jamal Carter and friends get to Jones for the big sack on 3rd down, but you can't have those mistakes in shotgun. Ball on the ground, you're lucky to get back on it if you're Duke.
2 sacks now for Jackson, who last year was number 182 on the ESPN 300. So a chance for the Hurricanes to take the lead. Walton running hard for the first down into Duke territory. Ben Humphries with another tackle.
You just have to love the way Mark Walton explodes through the line of scrimmage.
10-yard pickup. What was Mark Richt telling us yesterday? They put him on special teams guard in the offensive line because they knew he would do it right.
Yeah, he knew he'd go in and do it right and would have no problems or concerns. That's that type of player that you want to get more of it if you're Miami.
Duke was off sides. Walton doesn't matter as he breaks a few tackles, drags some other guys with him. So I think they'll take the play. Looked like Terrell Lucas, the freshman from nearby Hollywood, Florida, might have jumped.
Offside, defense number 90. 5-yard penalty, first out.
So 2:37 left to go in the half. Miami on the move.
If you're Duke defensively, you really want to hold the Hurricanes to a field goal opportunity here. 2:37 before halftime. You kind of feel, Eamon, I do at least, the momentum is shifting towards Miami a little bit. The defensive stand, more pressure in the pocket by their defense, and now the offense needs to seize that. And I know Mark Richt and company, Brad Kaya, they want to stay in the attack mode offensively.
On the defensive end, Jones started 10 of 10. He's 2 for his last 7 after that. Now 1st and 5. Kaya, the long out. Incomplete. Looked like it was going to be a great catch by Stacy Coley, but Mark Gilbert provided enough pressure.
I like Gilbert on the corner. He's one of those guys that attacks the football and plays to the echo of the whistle. This was going to be potentially an outstanding catch, but good pressure by Gilbert.
Walton has a seam, gets the first down inside the 30, all the way down to the 22. Brought down by Alonzo Saxton. The offensive line starting to dominate and pick up a 22.
Touchdown saving tackle by Saxton deep in the Duke secondary, and that's the speed again of Mark Walton and his ability to get to the second level.
Walton stays out there.
Man coverage across the board. Miami should be able to take advantage here.
Back to Walton, weaving his way inside the 20.
Anytime you see man coverage against the Hurricanes, that's a green light for Mark Richt and company and quarterback Brad Kaya. They want to attack slants, fades, back shoulder throws. They feel like they have the athletes on the outside and the size to take advantage.
Walton now with 69 yards on 10 carries. 2nd and 7.
Now this should be a play to the short side of the field, and freshman Richards.
Duke showing pressure. They run it instead, and Walton's bottled up momentarily. And then maybe he gets back to the line of scrimmage. But Terrell Lucas, as we mentioned, the South Florida native from Hollywood, Florida, with the tackle.
Surprised that Miami didn't attack man coverage there on 2nd down. Clock winding down inside of 50 seconds before halftime.
Timeout. Miami, first charge of this half. 30-second timeout.
And the Hurricanes take a timeout facing a 3rd and 7. Walton will get a breather as well. So we're going to step aside as well. See what Coach Rick comes up with on 3rd and 7 after this. Back here at Hard Rock Stadium, Duke clinging to a 1-point lead. Miami in the red zone, but facing a 3rd and 7. Twins to the left, Malcolm Lewis to the short side. Mark Walton in the backfield. Giles Harris showing pressure up the middle. Now he backs off. Kaya has Walton open, but the throw carries him out of bounds, so he's going to be short. Well short. An interesting play call there as they're going to have to settle for the field goal.
Well, it's interesting that Mark Walton ran that with such authority that carried him out of bounds. You got to idle down when you're in the short side of the field because Miami had the advantage. No Duke defender was outside to make a play on Walton if he's able to stay in bounds.
So now Michael Badgley on for his 3rd field goal of the season, a 33-yarder. Vogel, the holder. Good snap, good hold. And the Hurricanes take the lead. Celebrating its 12th year sponsoring the Good Hands Field Goal Nets, Allstate makes contributions to participating universities' general scholarship funds for each field goal and extra point kick. To date, Allstate has contributed millions in scholarship funds. So 38 seconds left.
Well, big opportunity there, and Duke stepped up. They forced the field goal opportunity. They give up 3, but they only go into the locker room what looks like to be a 2-point deficit. So they're able to get a little bit of momentum out of that defensive stand and only give up 3 points.
Now again, Wilson has a kickoff return for a touchdown on the season. He took one back against Notre Dame, so you wonder if they try to squib it to keep it away from him. Of course, the risk in that is giving Duke automatic field position. So they kick it deep. And Wilson watches it sail over his head. All right, Coach Kangemi, you got 38 seconds left, 2 timeouts, a redshirt freshman quarterback on the road, and pretty much a game you pretty happy with, I would think, down 2.
Let's see what happens on first down,
come
partner.
on, Coach.
Oh, if we get a run and we get a good chunk yardage play, we're going to maybe step up with that tempo. I don't think they'll throw the football here. I think they will come out and run a play, see how they do on first down, and take it to halftime only down 2 points.
Duke will get the ball to start the second half. They run it to Wilson, spins out of trouble, gets across the 30. Now does Coach Cutcliffe take a timeout?
No, I think they're going to be content where the game is right now. 16-14 Hurricanes lead. But Duke's played a pretty good first half. They've come back. They've been able to respond. And that was their theme. They've been able to respond through the first 30 minutes and play competitively on the road and go toe-to-toe with the Hurricanes.
And he is more than content to take the headset off, get into the locker room, and make some adjustments.
That is the end of the first half. Timeout. Trailing
by 2. His offense started off clicking, and then the defense made an adjustment. So it's Miami 16, Duke 14. Let's now take you to the halftime report. Chris Cotter and Jonathan Vilman. Take it away.
Thank you, Eamon. Dave and Buster's halftime report. Vilma's here in studio with me. Let's tell you what's happening here in rivalry weekend. Let's start with the Iron Bowl in progress right now. Alabama and Auburn. Auburn got up to a 3-0 lead in this game, JV. It's a nice play by Jalen Hurts, though. Sizes it up, checks down, and finds Damian Harris.
Nice, cool, calm, relaxed. Damian Harris doing the rest, getting the touchdown.
Just 10-6 right now, though. In the second quarter, Alabama getting a game as you might expect from Auburn. Earlier today, a classic in the shoe. All the hype, and this thing lived up to it. Jabril Peppers taking this game and getting all the way into the second overtime. 4th and 1, they're down 3, and instead of going for the field goal, Urban goes for it.
I like his aggressiveness, but did he get the first down? Defensive guys, if you're a Michigan fan, you're saying, no way he got it. If you're an Ohio State fan, you said, of course he got it. Look at it. He's right there. He crossed the line.
He hits the backside of 88, who was right on the line, and that's where they put the ball. They give him the first down on the very next play. It's a victory.
It's a victory. You see everyone over-pursued for Michigan defense. Curtis Samuel, he was waiting to break out. They had contained him all game until now, and that was the key touchdown.
Falling big old number 65 into the end zone. Yes. Afterward, as you might expect, emotions running high, fans running onto the field. Jabril Peppers gets mixed up here with an Ohio State fan. Had to be separated. Coach Harbaugh afterward also emotional.
The officiating, I'm bitterly disappointed with the officiating today. That spot, the graphic display is the interference penalties. The one not called on us, on Grant Perry, clearly was being hooked before the ball got there. And the previous penalty they called on Delano Hill, the ball is uncatchable and by the receiver. See, I'm bitterly disappointed.
Well, that obviously wasn't all that Coach Harbaugh said there during the post-game press conference. But to me, Jonathan, I mean, bitterly disappointed in the officiating. Some calls go against him, some calls go for him. Did you think it really had an impact on this game?
I don't think it really had an impact. He's barely disappointed in the outcome of the game, and he's frustrated. And there's no way to vent his frustration, so he puts it on the referees. It was a very good game, lived up to the hype. I didn't think it could.
Yeah.
You're talking about a 4 or 5 hour game day we had over there. Lived up to it.
And what was it that Nigel St. Hubbins from Spinal Tap said? There's a fine line between clever and stupid. Yeah. And I'm not saying that Urban would be stupid if they don't make this, but he's going for it on 4th down with the game online. Could have kicked the field goal and got to another overtime.
Could have kicked the field goal, got the game to another time, go to OT. Instead, he goes for a victory. But I want to show you, this is why he went for it. That is why he went for it.
He was drained, right? He was just emotionally drained?
Emotionally drained, mentally drained. Because you talk about a game, it was literally a game of inches all game long.
Right.
I mean, wow, to go for it, he said, let's go after it.
It works out for him, and that's why Urban Meyer has the rings and the championships and everything else to his credit, and why he might be making the playoff later on this year. But a lot of things have to work out for him. First of all, let's just check out what's going on with the Big Ten right now, because
they're all in a dogfight.
They are. Right now, Wisconsin and Minnesota. Alec Ingold, yeah, they love going to the fullback there, and we love it too at Camp Randall. Does he get it? Does he work his way in?
It looks like it. Home field advantage. Refs say he's in, so he's in for the touchdown.
He is in, so Wisconsin takes a 7-3 lead. Ensuing kickoff, Keontae Harden.
Look at him go.
Breaks away.
Can he get there? Can he go? Can he go? Oh, he gets dragged down.
Gets dragged down. But Bradrick Shaw is going to find Henry Howden. First play for the score. So here comes Minnesota. You know what these guys are playing for?
The Paul Bunyan act.
Yes,
I'll
exactly.
play for that one. I'll play for that one.
You'll run over to get Paul Bunyan, Zach. Shaw keeps it himself later and scores. So Minnesota leading Wisconsin, who's already in the Big Ten championship game, by 10. Meanwhile, over on ESPN, that's Saquon Barkley. He scores for Penn State over Michigan State. So it's 10-9. Just a couple of seconds left to go in the first half there. And the three teams that are in question in the Big Ten, we know Wisconsin, because of Nebraska's loss, they're playing for the Big Ten championship. If Penn State wins today, they will play Wisconsin, but scenarios play themselves out. If you're Ohio State, would you almost rather I guess you wouldn't rather sit this one out, but maybe your playoff chances are just as good if you do sit this one out and watch Penn State and Wisconsin beat each other up.
In the past, it would be just as good. But the committee has said, they made it a point to say, we value conference championship winners. So it's for them to really go, hope that Penn State loses, play their way into that championship game, win, and then leave any doubt.
If Penn State beats Michigan State and they play for the Big Ten championship and you're Ohio State, you got to be thinking that you hope Wisconsin wins the Big Ten, because then at least you have a head-to-head win over Wisconsin. If Penn State wins the Big Ten, then even though they have 2 losses, they have the Big Ten championship and also win head-to-head over you.
That's right. Conference championship winners of the Big Ten and the head-to-head over them. Whether they have 2 losses and Ohio State won, that plays, in my opinion, that plays more, and that has more value for them to go into playoffs, them as in Penn State going into playoffs.
Either way, the Buckeyes right now are celebrating their huge win against Michigan, but also keeping one eye on television screens for both the Wisconsin
There's no partying for them right now. They all went back to the locker room. They're watching TV. They're trying to figure out who's going to be playing.
No question. A lot still to play for today, and other rivalries as well. We go all the way out west. The Irish and the Trojans playing for the Jeweled Shillelagh. Highlights of this one next.
This halftime report is presented by Dave & Buster's, the only place to eat, drink, play, and watch sports.
Miami with the halftime lead. Brad Kaya here. Plenty of time, and finds his running back, Mark Walton, for the score. At the break, Don Davenport caught up with Mark Rick.
Well, Coach, you settled for 3 there just before the half. What is the key to finish those drives in the second half?
Well, both run and pass better. I think if we hit the back in the belly and not make him run out of bounds, he might turn up the sideline and get a first down. Just the little things. It's just execution, and we got to do a better job down there in the red zone.
I know defensively a slow start, but then they were able to get some pressure on that quarterback. What was the difference there?
Well, just being relentless, just keep coming hard, just keep believing. You know, we're mixing some pressures with just 4-man rush, and you know, we got to get more pressure on the 4-man rush. That's our issue right now.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Thanks, y'all. 12th ranked USC taking on Notre Dame. Great rivalry. Lost a little luster over the last couple of years because these teams aren't playing for national championships. Josh Adams, though, don't tell him that. Those 74 yards with all those Trojans chasing after him.
Yeah, look at him pulling away from that secondary. Dory Jackson's a fast man. Finally catches up to him. But, wow, talk about great speed.
Gets all the way down to the 1. Deshaun Kaiser puts it in from there. Notre Dame up 7-3. Ensuing USC drive. SC's been playing really well lately. Sam Darnold certainly a big reason, but Ronald Jones can tote the rock.
He's another reason. He's a highlight waiting to happen. The way he explodes through the hole, you see him get the edge, and then he's out of there. No one can catch him.
USC 10-7, then 17-7 after a Dory Jackson punt return, and then Janae Harris. He's gone.
He's gone. Touchdown, and look at it. It's raining again. All of a sudden, Notre Dame
wasn't raining in Los Angeles.
Yeah, first time in like 5 years that it's raining over there.
LA. Only when Notre Dame comes to town. West Virginia and Iowa State. Skylar Howard going to go deep over the middle. You know, West Virginia, Dana Holgerson said, man, we always have a hard time in Ames. And Ames, they're playing pretty good football right now. Iowa State, Shelton Gibson with the catch. West Virginia would score a couple plays later, 14-3. Then on the ensuing kickoff, though, great moves.
Great.
Bené Nkwangu.
It was a kicker, but we'll give him credit because he scored a touchdown here. Great move, Auto.
Takes it 100 yards for the score, so it's 21-16 right now. West Virginia on top. Coaching news on the day earlier. Charlie Strong fired at Texas. Now the University of Texas has just issued a release saying Tom Herman is the new head coach. There was a lot of speculation. We were waiting for official word from Texas. We got it. So Herman moves from Houston to Texas. Ed Orgeron, now the interim tag removed. He is the head coach at LSU.
Congrats to him. Well deserved, Ed Orgeron.
Great news right there. Lamar Jackson, well, he was trying to do his thing earlier today against his rival from Lexington, Kentucky. Are the Heisman pose? I don't know.
Ooh.
They want to wait on that one for a little bit. Highlights of that one next.
You're watching the Dave & Buster's Halftime Report.
11th ranked Louisville taking on Kentucky. Fourth quarter, first and goal, JV. Game tied at 38. Of course, you're going to go to Lamar.
Of course, Lamar Jackson, he's been Mr. Everything for Louisville in that offense. So, of course, why not go to him? But here, a little reckless with the ball, and he's been reckless with the ball, having accounted for a bunch of turnovers this whole season.
So it gives Kentucky a chance, and Steven Johnson, who was really great in this game for Kentucky, finds Jeff Badgett, makes a great catch, leading to Austin McGinnis, 47 yards, the game winner.
Right down the middle.
Splits the uprights.
And fitting for that game. Kentucky earned that victory today.
Lamar Jackson had 4 TDRs, but he also had 4 turnovers in the game. Georgia Tech between the hedges. Late in the going, 36 seconds left. Tech down 6. Quay Searcy looks like he's going to do the halfback pass. Keeps it.
Look at this great individual effort to go fearless, jumping over, extending the ball. He could have been hit. Look how many defenders there are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Georgia defenders, and he still gets in for the touchdown.
Gives Tech the lead by 1 point. 6 seconds left. Jacob Eason going to buy some time and chuck it up.
Yeah, well, it's too little too late for Jacob Eason. Georgia Tech, again, just like Kentucky, earned this victory today. It was up and down. They had turnovers, but they battled all the way through. It was a great game for a rivalry.
Yeah, Paul Johnson and Georgia Tech, 8 wins on the year after winning just 3 games last year. A good turnaround season for him. This one right here, the #1 team in the country with just a 4-point lead over Auburn in the Iron Bowl. This is what rivalry games will do to you. Close. We'll keep you updated on this one all second half long.
This halftime report is presented by Dave & Buster's, the only place to eat, drink, play, and watch sports.
Welcome back to the ACC on ESPN as we get ready for the second half between Miami and Duke. Certainly an interesting day to be in the South Florida area and an interesting first half of football. I'm Eamon McEnany, happy to be joined by John Kinjemi. And before we kick things off here in the third quarter, let's go down to the field and check in with Dawn Davenport.
Yeah, guys, just talked to David Cutcliffe. He said, simplest formula in football, run the football, help out your quarterback. Daniel Jones started that half 10 for 10, but struggled a little bit. Coach telling me that that's because they were able to get some pressure on him. He told Jones at the break that he has to help his receivers out, use his eyes a little bit better, and at the end of the day, they just have to run the football. Now, on the other side, he also said, yeah, we're seeing the pressure. We need to give the pressure, too. They said they need to make Brad Kaya uncomfortable.
All right, Dawn, Coach Cutcliffe's offense will get the ball to start the second half. You talk about the running game. Sean Wilson, just 5 carries for 49 yards. It's another touchback by Bagley, so the Blue Devils will start from the 25. John, now let's take a look at our Pacific Life game summary.
And Duke started fast offensively. I think the quarterback, Daniel Jones, was very accurate in the beginning of this football game. 12 of 17, 137, and 2 touchdowns. That one going to Ramming on the in route again over the middle, finding a touchdown. Daniel Jones protected the football for the most part, but the Miami defense came alive in that second quarter. Joe Jackson, a couple of sacks, 3 tackles for a loss for that Miami defense, so they were able to create pressure. And then on the other side, Brad Kaya finding Mark Walton. Walton had 3 catches for 42 yards. That one, the touchdown, goes for 30, so a couple of explosive plays for the Canes as well.
Jones can't get the corner, and he's dropped for a loss. Michael Pickney with the penetration. So no gain. They say he got back to the line of scrimmage.
Duke would love to stay on the football field and win the time of possession. That means it keeps the explosive Miami offense on the sideline for the majority of the second half.
Here comes pressure up the middle. Ramming on the wide receiver screen. It's out to the 29, so now it'll be 3rd and medium. Give him 5 yards out to the 30. So quickly a 3rd and medium, and Duke looking to go quickly.
Duke has been good on 3rd down, 4 of 6 in the first half.
Ramming and Lloyd to the right. Chris Taylor, top of your screen to the left.
I would go tight end option, wide side of the field. That's the matchup.
Miami showing pressure up the middle, and here it comes. Jones, low throw. They say catch made right at the marker. Chris Taylor.
That's a great job by Taylor getting his hands underneath the football. If in fact this is a catch. Looked like it might have gotten through.
And the chain gang move up quickly enough for Duke to get the snap off. Joseph Underwood doesn't buzz down, so it's a 1st down. Now they hit Lloyd on the quick throw out across the 40. Zach McLeod with the tackle for a pickup of 6.
Tempo has been an aid to Duke's offense in that first half. They've been able to confuse Miami, a lot of substitution problems for the Hurricanes, and they'd love to take this opening drive and retake the lead to start this 3rd quarter.
Off the play fake, knocked down at the line again, Gerald Willis. He had one of those in the first half.
Too many bodies around the quarterback, Daniel Jones. 3 jerseys in orange, collapsing the pocket. That's no way to make a living if you're a freshman quarterback for the Blue Devils.
3rd and 4. Jones on the slant, a lot of contact, incomplete. There's a flag. Looking for TJ Ramming and Corn Elder. Can't believe he might be called for pass interference.
It looked like there was plenty of contact before the football arrived.
Pass interference, defense number 6. The ball will be placed at the spot of the foul. Automatic 1st down.
They say it was Jamal Carter.
Short side of the field. It looked like, watching it live, Eamon, I agreed with you. It looked like there was contact early by Corn Elder to the short side. Definitely with the left shoulder. Bumps the receiver, TJ Ramming.
Well, they said 6, but Jamal Carter was nowhere near the play, so it's Corn Elder, the veteran defensive back. Now they get it to Ramming on the swing pass, who's able to turn the corner into Miami territory. Here's a flag on the block. That flag was thrown from Coral Gables. 2 flags on the play.
They've been holding on Chris Taylor.
During the run, holding by number 82 on the offense. 10-yard penalty, 1st down.
Long developing plays, sometimes those receivers asked to block 4 or 5 seconds, and that one was actually a lateral behind the line of scrimmage, and it's going to cost Duke 10 yards.
So that makes it 1st and 20 from the Duke 35. Miami bringing pressure. Picked up by Wilson. Complete to Aaron Young for a short gain. Pick up a 5 out to the 40. Makes it 2nd and 15. Another short pass, good coverage, knocked away. Looking for Eric Schneider. Demetrius Jackson, the defensive end. Redshirt sophomore from right here in Miami.
Jackson is able to do that. His athleticism allows him to cover to the short side as Duke is going to attempt this third and very long. Miami, Coach Rick said they have to create more havoc with that front four. It looks like they're only bringing 3 here on third down.
That's certainly what they're able to do in the second quarter. 8th play of the drive. Jones forced out of the pocket. With Quarterman breathing down, he gets rid of it incomplete. Looking for Jonathan Lloyd, and the Blue Devils are going to have to punt.
The holding call definitely helps the Miami defense, and then they do their job on second and third down. So a good start to the second half for the Miami defense after a couple of positive plays by this Duke offense. Pressure in the pocket is going to be the difference for the Hurricanes in the second half of this game.
Berrios back to receive. Gets the punt away. Berrios with the fair catch signal made at the 23. So Brad Kaya and the Hurricanes will go to work for the first time in the second half after this 37-yard punt and no return. But John, to go back to Miami's defense, you look at these guys run around. You look at Quarterman and Pickney, and then up front, Willis, Norton. Talking to Manny Diaz yesterday, that foundation is there for a tremendous defense.
They want those big guys to fly around the football and those little guys to come up and punish you.
All right, we're going to step aside. Mark Rick's club up by 2, has the ball for the first time in the second half. Back here at Miami, Hurricanes with the ball for the first time in the second half. Miami with a 2-point lead on Duke. Hurricanes looking to punctuate the regular season with a 4-game winning streak, but Walt will lose yards on this play. James Hornbuckle with the penetration in the TFL. Loss of 3.
Great explosiveness off the snap for Hornbuckle, creating that negative play on first down. In the first half, we saw 6 scores, 5 lead changes. So Miami want to get away from those negative plays to start this third quarter.
2nd and 13. And swing it out to Coley. He gets across the 20. So just like that, 3rd and long for Kaya and the Hurricanes. Gain of 3.
Brad Kaya efficient in the first half. 12 of 19, completes that pass to get it back to manageable, but the Hurricanes struggled on third down, only 1 of 6 in that first half.
3rd and 11. Coley in the slot to the left. Lewis, top of your screen to the right. Duke bringing pressure up the middle. Kaya looking for Berrios, and he throws it behind him and out of bounds. Mark Gilbert with the coverage once again. So not a crisp opening drive for the Miami offense here in the second half.
Negative play on first down, and that third down opportunity wasn't close, so Duke should get decent field position with their second opportunity in this third quarter.
Ryan Smith back to receive. Here comes pressure, but he gets it away. Good high kick. Early fair catch signal made. And he makes the grab at the 33. We're going to step aside. Duke with the ball back, down by 2 after this.
ESPN College Football, brought to you by AT&T and Pacific Life, helping generations of families achieve long-term financial security for over 145 years.
Back here at Hard Rock Stadium, after a fast start by the offenses, the defenses have taken over here late in the second quarter and early in the third. Duke with the ball, down by 2. Blue Devils looking to get to 5 and 7, and the way things are shaking up, they could still get into a bowl game if they get that 5th win. We start this drive with Joseph Ajibi in the backfield. Back out to Lloyd, looking for a block on the outside, doesn't get it, and maybe gets a yard.
Eamon, sometimes those long developing screenplays on the outside play into the Hurricanes' speed on defense. They closed the distance in a hurry on that side of the football.
You know, after those 2 opening drives, Duke really doesn't have anything to hang their hat on offensively right now. They haven't committed to the run, and I don't think they can give them time for a deep play. Now ramming on the tunnel screen. Gets out to the 35. No gain.
Quarterman.
And did the ball come out at the end? Hurricanes say they have it. Referee's first indication was that he was down. That is indeed the call. So now 3rd and long, and Duke looking to go quickly. Now Helm, the tight end, is in the slot. Duke just 1 of 7 on 3rd down here this afternoon. And now Miami takes a timeout.
Timeout, Miami, first charge of the second half.
No, Eamon, you're right about offense, and Miami are trying to figure it out on defense. They're creating more pressure.
3rd and long when we return. Tonight after college football on ESPN, don't miss SportsCenter at Night with John Bucci-Gross and Kevin Connors. They'll have a full recap and reactions from rivalry weekend and the implications it'll have on the college football playoff rankings, plus everything else from the world of sports. Also streaming live on the ESPN app and Watch ESPN. I'm going to go out on a limb and say you're going to hear a soundbite or 2 from Jim Harbaugh about the spot in overtime. And right now the brain trust for Miami is looking to come up with a stop and get the ball back.
Well, the good thing for Miami's defense, they've been able to crank up the heat on Daniel Jones, the Duke quarterback, and I would expect some more from Joe Jackson coming from the edge, wide side of the field.
Number 99 already with 2 sacks here tonight. Jones gets rid of it, short of a first down. Catch made by Lloyd, but they mark him down at the 41. Line to gain was the 43.
Great close on the football from Carter out of that safety position. The Miami defense reacting very quickly on the 2 possessions in this 3rd quarter and forcing Duke punts. And for a game that went back and forth in the first half, a lot of defense here to start the 3rd quarter.
Manny Diaz has certainly adjusted to Daniel Jones in the offense. Saw that shot of Manny Diaz with Mark Richt. They first got to know each other when Manny Diaz was a graduate assistant at Florida State, working with Chuck Amato, and Mark Richt was the offensive coordinator of those championship ball clubs. Not a great kick. It takes a Miami bounce out of bounds. So in the first half, we said which defense will come to life and make a stop. Now here in the 3rd quarter, it's which offense will get going.
Well, Miami started the game running the football with Mark Walton. The offensive line did a good job of getting some creases up front. Walton was able to use that vision and speed on the outside, and they were able to get Stacy Coley involved. I would think if I'm Brad Kaya and head coach Mark Richt, I want to get my playmakers back involved. And that means Walton and Coley need to touch it.
Walton starts in the backfield. Coley, top of your screen to the right. Now they change the formation. Duke showing pressure. Now the linebackers back off. Kaya steps up, has a man wide open, and Njoku makes the grab. Still on his feet. He's going to score. 76 yards.
There's some offense. Brad Kaya saw the matchup he wanted to exploit. Duke tries to heat up the pocket, but Njoku gets behind coverage, breaks a tackle, and then uses that stiff arm off of that 6'4" frame to get Saxton off of his body and go the distance for 6.
The redshirt sophomore out of Cedar Grove, New Jersey. A matchup nightmare. Just caused a few sleepless nights for Jim Knowles and the Duke defensive staff.
Miami Hurricanes are known for their explosive plays, and most of them are by the right arm of Brad Kaya. This time finding David Njoku. Njoku happy about it. He finds the end zone. The Hurricanes out in front 23-14.
Miami now with a 23-14 lead on Duke in ACC action. And speaking of an ACC team, remember, it's rivalry weekend. And tonight at 7:30 Eastern on ESPN, we'll have the Palmetto Bowl between South Carolina and #4 Clemson from Death Valley. The Tigers look to keep their college football playoff hopes alive with a win over the Gamecocks. As always, it's also streaming live on the ESPN app and watch ESPN. Wilson with a rare chance at a return. Out to the 23, but Njoku has electrified this crowd with the longest play of his career.
We were looking for some explosive plays, and it's just going to be pure speed. Njoku's in the slot at the top of the screen right on the hash, and he's just going to run right by coverage. And the safety in the middle of the field cannot get out of between the hashes. He's close to the logo. He doesn't have enough speed to get to the tight end. And the timing from Brad Kaya, who leads him away from that single high safety, was the key. But you have to have better coverage if you're Duke in the back end, and now freshman quarterback Daniel Jones has to find a way to answer with his offense.
Coach Cutcliffe wanted to know how his players would respond after a subpar outing last week against Pitt. How do they respond from giving up the big play, down by 9 on the road? Jones with time, has a man open, complete for a first down out to the 40. Jonathan Lloyd with the grab, brought down by Jenkins, an 18-yard pickup.
Good protection up front, plenty of time for Daniel Jones to find a receiver.
Now they run it up the middle with Wilson. Gain of 1. R.J. McIntosh with the tackle.
Miami's defense has done a pretty good job from the second quarter on, especially the front seven, of getting off of blocks and finding the Duke ball carriers.
2nd and 9. Jones keeps it himself. Gets away from one man, takes a big hit. Jamal Carter with the hit. Now his helmet comes off and they're going to get called for a face mask. So he'll get to stay out there as if the penalty was what brought the helmet off.
It looked like R.J. McIntosh, number 80, was the guy that leaned in and ripped the helmet off.
So a break for the Blue Devils here.
After the play was over, personal foul, grabbing the face mask of number 17 of the offense. Since that foul pulled the helmet off, number 17 will not be required to leave for one untimed down. That personal foul is an automatic first down.
The Miami defense does a good job of holding up the quarterback, Daniel Jones, but at the end of the play, the right hand, you can see on the face mask on his way down. That's a dangerous play, and one you have to avoid if you're R.J. McIntosh. Not a good decision.
So Duke now in Miami territory at the 37. Jones to Ramey. Down to the 32. Pick up a 5. So offense coordinator Zach Roper going to that quick passing game now. Second and 5, under 7 minutes to go in the third. Miami showing pressure. Swing it out to Lloyd. Gets by one man, gets the first down. Malik Young takes him out of bounds. That's a 6-yard pickup and a new set of downs for the Blue Devils.
Impressive by Daniel Jones, the quarterback, being able to catch and throw and have the accuracy and the velocity to get that shot play on the outside, that bubble screen on time and on target against this Miami defense.
Now Lloyd and Ramming to the right. Jones gets hit as he throws, complete. Copenhagen with the grab for a short gain. Pick up a 3.
Terrific concentration and getting the eyes downfield by Daniel Jones as R.J. McIntosh was draped around his waist. That's a good job of not dropping your eyes and worrying about the pressure in the pocket by Jones.
2nd and 6. Jones, high throw, incomplete. Blue Devil coaching staff looking for a flag, but it's an incomplete pass. Malik Young with the coverage on Chris Taylor. So now 3rd and 6 for Jones.
Good coverage and good pressure by Trent Harris, who forced the early throw on that slant. So now another 3rd down opportunity for the Hurricanes defensively, and for Duke. Can they stay on the field and get points out of this productive drive?
And with Duke's kicking game being a little suspect, this could be 4-down territory, but we'll worry about that after this play. Taylor in motion, low snap. Throwbacks. Oh, how is that not interference? He tackled Wilson behind the line of scrimmage. Michael Pickney with the coverage.
Great neck recognition by Pickney. Does a great job. He knew it was screened to the short side the whole way. Ball's going to come out. It looks like the ball fake to the play side. It's right in behind the line of scrimmage. Pickney does a good job of picking up the screen. And he was there a count or two early.
So they go with the kicker, A.J. Reed, just 3 of 9 on the season. This is a 40-yarder. He's 0 for 2 on kicks from 40 to 49 yards. Make it 0 for 3. So the Hurricanes turn away the Blue Devils as Reed drops to 30% on the season for Coach Cutcliffe.
Eamon, you mentioned the suspect kicking game for Duke and the frustration for head coach David Cutcliffe. This kick never had a chance. It sailed right and stayed there the entire time.
Now let's take a look at this week's college football rankings brought to you by PlayStation. And you play a tremendous game, you go to double overtime, and nothing gets settled, I think. I mean, I really think if Alabama holds on against Auburn that you're going to look at the same things, unless Clemson really looks impressive against South Carolina.
It'll be interesting to see what happens in the Big Ten. That's the conference everybody's taking a look at after the big double overtime game at the Horseshoe today.
Edwards bounces it outside to pick up a couple of yards. We approach 5 minutes left in the 3rd quarter. Edwards stays out there. Lewis to the short side, Twins to the wide side.
This is where Duke needs to get a defensive stand.
Here comes pressure. And open in double coverage, and Coley gets tripped up, or that could have been 6. Singleton with a shoestring tackle. But Coley with another explosive play for Miami.
Great throw and a terrific concentration catch in between 2 defenders. Right in stride, Brad Kaya finds Stacy Coley.
33-yard pickup for the veteran from Pompano Beach, Florida.
Explosive plays is what this offense is known for, and they can do it anywhere on the field.
Kaya with all day, looking deep again for Berrios. And he makes the grab inside the 5. What a perfect throw.
Great concentration by Braxton Berrios, and credit Brad Kaya putting enough air under the football. The ball looked like it went right through Mark Gilbert's hands, the freshman corner from Duke.
Now they run it with Edwards. But John, you take a look at the 2 throws from Brad Kaya that we've just seen. That's why we saw some scouts down on the field in pregame.
Absolutely. I mean, he can make every throw on the field, whether it's putting enough air under the football to hit Braxton Berrios or throwing it with authority on the outside to split defenders to Stacy Coley. He's done it all.
Miami looking with a chance to lower the boom here and get to 30. On the slant, too easy. Coley, touchdown. 20th of his career, and he beat Gilbert.
Brad Kaya has taken over this football game, and he's done it with his accurate right arm. And you're right, uncontested throws showing up again this week for Duke secondary.
Set his 20th career touchdown. He now ties with Reggie Wayne for 4th all time and Andre Johnson. Young man, that's some select cat.
It's pretty good.
That's company. Extra point is good. But you mentioned it, John. When he came here as a freshman, everyone thought he would set the world on fire, and it has been an impressive career for number 3.
Stacey Coley's done everything he needed to do at the wide receiver position, and he strikes fear in opposing defenses, especially corners, because he can get behind you, he can make plays in front of you, and with 15 throwing it to him, it's a pretty good combination.
So he had 2 impressive throws to get down and inside the red zone, and then the touchdown was pretty easy for Stacey Coley. But you know, when you talk about wide receivers at Miami, you're going to know some pretty impressive names are going to pop up.
Well, Mike Orvin at the top of that list, and some really good names in Thomas and Hankerson and Wayne and Andre Johnson and Stacey Coley with 20, trying to add to that list as this game goes on.
Of course, there will be a bowl game. If he doesn't break that tie here in the second half, he'll get another crack at that. Wilson doesn't even move. It'll be another touchback. Miami in control. Now let's check in the studio with Chris Cotter.
Alabama trying to wrestle control away from Auburn in the Iron Bowl. Auburn's been giving him a game, tough, but here Jalen Hurts keeps it, gets to the corner. So 20-9 right now, Crimson Tide on top midway through the third quarter.
All right, Chris, thanks for that. You know, John, we were talking at halftime between ourselves. I think Alabama could lose a game here and still be in the playoff.
They've played so well this year, depending on how the game would go. I just, you know, Alabama has been so dominant all year. It'd be surprising if they lost.
Oh, no doubt about it. I was just talking about the way the playoff picture's shaping up.
You're
here.
right.
You know, usually a loss in November, back in the old days, a loss in November would be death of the season.
They've got a lot of money in the bank. You know, they can make a withdrawal.
Yes, that's right. Jones with time. Big hit, but they make the catch. Chris Taylor. So now it'll be third and medium. Malik Young making some fans go ooh and ah.
Yards are tough to come by for Duke in this third quarter. Tempo or no tempo, they have to find a way to stay on the field and get in the end zone here with 2:40 left to go in the third quarter.
3rd and 2. Eric Schneider in the slot to the left. The tight ends have been quiet here for Duke. Ramming and Lloyd doing most of the damage in the passing game. Looking for Ramming, knocked away nicely by Corn Elder.
Terrific timing by Corn Elder, and that right arm coming in to deflect the football. Stays his ground, gets good leverage, and breaks on the football. You know, defensive coordinator Manny Diaz is loving what he sees out of this defense in the third quarter.
So it's another punt for Danny Sturt. Barrios back to receive, makes the fair catch signal, and makes the catch at the 25. And Brad Kaya has had a solid performance in the final home game for the Hurricanes.
It seems like as this game has gone on, he's gotten better and better. He's been able to put together some throws, especially in the second half, going 7 for 8 for 153 and 2 touchdowns. He's been able to touch it over the head of the Duke defenders. He's been able to throw it in the seam, and he's been able to split defenders on the perimeter. Brad Kaya has made every throw you would need to make, not only in tonight's game, but moving along to the next level. Nice pass in the red zone for 6 to his favorite target, Stacey Coley.
I think it's safe to say that after the bowl game, there's going to be a question and decision he's going to have to make, because certainly the whispers right now about him maybe going pro will only get louder after performances like this one.
I would think so. You know, you build on performances over the last 3 weeks in a career that he's had.
And Edwards running to the left, running hard across the 35. And, you know, the other factor is it's not a quarterback-heavy draft, so you're going to see some mock drafts with him moving up at that position.
Well, he definitely has the frame. He has the arm strength. You want to work on the mobility factor within the pocket. There's a lot of guys that make a pretty good living that don't have to necessarily be able to run 4.5 or 4.6 at the quarterback spot.
Now Christopher Herndon in at the fullback position with Walton. Kaya with time, looking deep again. Coley adjusts and makes the grab. But there's a flag back in the pocket. A 42-yard gain, but let's see what the flag is. No one's moving back. Kaya took a hit at the end, so maybe it's a roughing the passer penalty, but it is back in the backfield.
Kaya took a big hit after the play.
There are two fouls on the play. Personal foul, roughing the passer with targeting number 34 on the defense. That penalty will be added on to the end of the run. After the play was over, unsportsmanlike conduct. Number three on Duke. Penalty. Number 3 on the offense. 15-yard penalty. It'll be 1st and 10, Miami, and that play is under further review, the targeting play.
So Ben Humphries, the leader of this defense, the middle linebacker. Coley maybe a little too much celebration at the end or some taunting after a tremendous catch. He makes an adjustment on the ball.
We made a great adjustment on the football, and it looked like Mark Gilbert may have hurt his ankle, but there's the taunt there. A couple words said. Gilbert stays down on the ground, and as you said, Eamon, Coley makes an excellent adjustment to the football, but after the throw, it looked like there was contact to the head or to the helmet from Ben Humphries, and it looked like he led with his hands. I'm not so sure he led with the crown of his helmet. Let's take another look. I don't think the crown of the helmet ever hit Brad Kaya. It looked like it was hands to the face mask, if anything.
I'm with you. I don't see what you're looking for normally in targeting.
A launch. You're looking for those indicators.
Defenseless. I mean, okay, he was throwing the ball, but the crown of the helmet was not involved.
That's right. It looked like Ben Humphries led with his hands to the face mask of Brad Kaya.
And again, it's initiating contact to the head or neck area of a defenseless opponent with the helmet, forearm, fist, elbow, or shoulder. It didn't look to me above the shoulder in the head or neck area.
When the play initially happened, it looked more like a shove or a push to the quarterback, which drew the penalty.
Now, they did call roughing the passer, so
yes,
that can't be overturned. The targeting and the ejection can be overturned.
I think Brad Kaya's figured out that the Duke defensive secondary is so depleted he can throw the football anywhere close to his receivers and come down with a big play.
Again, remember, Mark Gilbert hurt his ankle on that play. We'll see if 28 can get back out there. But Joseph Underwood in a lengthy discussion upstairs with Riley Johnson over this one. And you hate to say it with a whole quarter left to play, but if you lose Ben Humphries and the way Kaya's locked in right now, it's going to be hold on for dear life for this Duke defense.
Kaya's had such an explosive third quarter coming out. He steps up in the pocket and just gets it close down the field to Stacy Coley, and it just looked like Ben Humphries had the hands to the chest and into the neck area. He never led with the crown of his helmet.
Well, as we were discussing the targeting rules, the big things, the three, the launch, the defenseless, and the crown of the helmet. So a forcible hit by crown of a helmet certainly didn't have that.
You know, the only thing you might be able to say is that was to the neck area, depending on how the officials saw the hands to the upper body.
Well, it looks like the verdict is in. Let's see what the call is.
After review, there is no foul for targeting. However, there is personal foul, roughing the passer, number 34 on the defense. That penalty will be added on to the end of the run. After the play was over, unsportsmanlike conduct, number 3 on Miami. That penalty will be enforced. 15 yards, it'll be 1st and 10 from the 26-yard line.
Well, basically, we just get the catch.
That's right. And Ben Humphrey's going to stay in the foot.
Again, there's Mark Richt telling his senior, we don't need that. It cost your team 15 yards.
Well, he's such a talented player at the wide receiver spot that, you know, coaches are always coaching, and they always want to make sure that they get their point across, no matter if it's week 1 or it's late in the season as we're playing this game. You want to keep the advantage when you make an explosive play. You don't want to lose that momentum or lose yardage after having such success.
So Humphreys gets to stay in and play, and it looks like, let's see if Gilbert 28 is able to get back out there. It looks like he is 28, and now there's a late, oh, they're maybe just picking up their flag. Sorry, my bad.
That is number 3 for Miami's first unsportsmanlike conduct foul.
Well, we got all our housekeeping taken care of. After all that, it's 1st and 10 from the Duke 26. Minute 37 to play in the 3rd.
Duke looking for answers defensively. They have not been able to create enough pressure in the pocket to make Brad Kaya feel uncomfortable.
Again, all day. Now the pocket collapses and he has to throw it away. Let's check in with Dawn Davenport.
They taped up his left ankle. He was rushing to get his shoe and his sock back on. He is good to go, and that's huge for them because number 14, Brian Fields, went to the locker room in the first half to be evaluated for an upper body injury, and he is now done for the day. He will not be back, so they are super thin back there.
Well, they were thin coming in, Dawn, so obviously they're going deep into that depth chart. But Gilbert has played well, no doubt about it. Kaya has had his way now here against this secondary with 309 passing yards. Now they run it to Walton to the right, so it'll be 3rd and long.
And Eamon, to your point, Brad Kaya has had his way in the 3rd quarter, 193 passing yards in this quarter alone.
He's now approaching 9,600 career yards. He's passed Ken Dorsey for first all-time passing yardage leader here at Miami. Take a look at those career numbers.
Outstanding quarterback is Brad Kaya.
Checks down to Walton on 3rd and long. And a strong tackle in the open field by Jeremy McDuffie. So they'll kick a field goal to get to 33. Try a field goal with Badgley, junior out of Summit, New Jersey. They just announced to the crowd that Brad Kaya has become the all-time passing leader in Miami history. This is a 43-yard attempt. And the Hurricanes tack on 3 more with 7 seconds left to go. Badgley, a perfect 4 for 4 on the evening. Miami continues to tack on the points here in the 3rd quarter.
Hurricanes pouring it on in the 3rd quarter in a record-setting night for their junior quarterback Brad Kaya, getting congratulations on the sidelines. Well deserved.
Don, if you were in his position, what would you see the most important factors? I can get better with another year in college under a guy who's been a great coach of the quarterback position. Is that you would think the biggest thing enticing him to stay here at Miami?
I think, you know, the way that this program has been searching for leadership and the way they've been searching for stability, you know, with a guy like Brad Kaya playing quarterback, there's no telling how good this program can be. And if you take a look at the roller coaster ride they were on this year, you know, you want to see that kind of streamline a little bit. You want to flatline that a little bit more and have more consistency. And with a guy like that at quarterback, I know Mark Richt could only say, yeah, well, I want him back. The improvement, I think it's within the pocket. It's his feet getting better, accustomed for the tempo and pace and speed and the throws you'll have to make at the next level. But he's shown it at the college level. He can make all the throws, and he anticipates well. He's got a good feel for the offenses that he's been through in his career. He does it all.
One would think whatever bowl game they get slotted at to go to, there will be plenty of scouts and GMs on hand for that one to get a closer look at Brad Kaya. 23 unanswered points by the Hurricanes since they were trailing 14-10. Wilson in the backfield with Jones. Wilson runs it up the middle, out to the 22. And that'll do it for the third quarter.
End of the third quarter. Timeout.
The third quarter dominated by the Miami Hurricanes. Miami outscores Duke 17-0 in the third, and they are in control as we head to the fourth. The road to the playoff continues. Next week it'll be championship weekend. Today it was the game. Miami will be playing in the postseason. It doesn't look like Duke will be unless they can pull off a fourth quarter rally on the road and get to 5 wins. The defense has figured out Daniel Jones here in the second half. Duke facing a 2nd and 8. That pass got knocked down again. I think that one was Trent Harris.
It was. Miami has totally dominated the line of scrimmage in this third quarter, and now the first play of the fourth quarter. Trent Harris gets his hands in the passing lane and aggravates Daniel Jones from the pocket. Now another 3rd and long situation for the Blue Devils.
First 2 possessions of the game for Duke. 2 touchdowns, 159 yards. Since then, 0 points, 129 yards and 8 possessions. Looking to keep this possession alive. High throw, incomplete. Looking for Daniel Helm.
Charles Perry, the linebacker, does a great job of running with Daniel Helm down the seam, making it difficult for Daniel Jones to fit it in on 3rd down.
So now Barrios back, waiting for another punt from Sturt.
I'd be surprised if Barrios gets his hands on this one, makes something of it on the return. He's been fair catching a little bit early.
And there's the early fair catch signal made inside the 25. So Kaya and this offense gets another crack at it. They're rolling 33-14, but there was a flag on the kick.
During the kick, holding number 53 on the return team. That penalty will be added on to the end of the kick. Timeout.
Back to Miami after this.
Chris Cotter back in Bristol with a couple of updates for you. The biggest game in the Big Ten was earlier with Ohio State winning, but a couple of big ones going on right now, including Penn State and Michigan State for the land-grant trophy. McSorley finds Chris Godwin here. Penn State starting to pull away a little bit. And then Wisconsin and Minnesota. Minnesota have been winning this whole game. Here comes Corey Clemens scoring from 2 yards out, all tied right now in the fourth quarter. Guys?
All right, Chris, thanks a lot. We'll take a look at that a little bit more here after this play. As Gus Edwards runs it up the middle. But Wisconsin and Penn State with some playoff hopes, trying to keep them alive, trying to keep Big Ten championship hopes alive. A little surprised that Minnesota was able to take that early lead on Wisconsin.
Yeah, I was as well. And everybody trying to stir up the Oklahoma debate. And they're idle this week. See what happens next week with them when they meet up with Oklahoma State.
You know, we talk about the eye test. Certainly they passed that last week with flying colors.
Yes,
but
they did.
You got 2 tough losses. I mean, Ohio State's a good loss, and I know Houston's a good team, but, you know, Houston's got 3 losses in its own conference.
That's
tough
right.
to sell anyone on Houston right now, I would think, for Oklahoma. Incomplete, looking for Malcolm Lewis. I thought there might have been a face mask on Jeremy McDuffie in the coverage, but no flag.
Really the story of this second half, and especially from the Miami perspective has been Brad Kaya. He's been the difference maker as he tries to get the ball outside to Malcolm Lewis. There's some contact on the headgear. You're right, Eamon. Should have been called pass interference by McDuffie, or on McDuffie.
Third and 5 now for the Hurricanes. Complete for a first down. That's Herndon. And they push the pile forward. But again, John, and I know we've been harping on this throughout the day, Brad Kaya has not felt any pressure at all in the dropping back to pass.
Duke came into this game with a bunch of injuries on the defensive side of the football, and they've done nothing in the second half but get further depleted. They've had nicks on the corners. Mark Gilbert had the ankle. He was taped. He comes back in. We saw Byron Fields on the ground. Corbin McCarthy doing the same thing. So the story has been the offensive line of Miami has been protecting Brad Kaya, and the timing in the pass offense, Duke has not been able to catch up with that.
Fields, as Dawn reported, is done. Upper body injury. Now Edwards running to the left, gets across the 30 for a short gain. So again, Miami looking to finish the season with 4 straight wins in the regular season. Last time they did that was 2002. Now, John, as you mentioned at the beginning of the year, everyone got excited. Yeah, we're back. Then there was a dip, and now they're bringing the believers back.
That's right. You know, the Pittsburgh game, that victory at home really turned the corner for the Hurricanes because, you know, the first 4 games they didn't play anybody. And then you go up against Florida State, North Carolina, Virginia Tech, and Notre Dame, and you come out 0-4, and you're wondering, what kind of team is this? Well, tonight, more of an indication of where this team is headed.
They snap it with 2 on the play clock, but are looking to throw. Here comes pressure, forcing an errant throw. So they bring Jeremy McDuffie on a blitz, and it forces an incompletion in 3rd and long.
Well, that's when Duke's been able to affect Brad Kaya in the pocket. They've been able to alter the timing in the pass offense, but with no sacks and a couple of hurries, this passing game has had their way with the Duke secondary.
And the wave is back here in Miami. Talk about going back to the glory days.
Whatever works, right?
Whatever works. I mean, I think that goes back to what Howard Schnellenberger days of the wave, maybe the Jimmy Johnson era. Here comes pressure. Kaya gets rid of it to Coley, and he gets the first down. Across the 40, tiptoeing the sideline, finally goes out of bounds in Duke territory. Mark Gilbert missed the chance to wrap him up, and he went for 15.
Yeah, I'm not so sure how healthy Mark Gilbert is playing against a quality wide receiver in Stacy Coley, because there's a 10, 12-yard cushion on the outside. It's too easy right now for Brad Kaya to look outside and see your best player that wide open.
So Miami in no rush to snap the ball. Already 10 on the play clock. So we approach 11 and a half left in the ball game. Kaya moving in on 350 passing yards, but they're content to throw it. And things getting a little chippy here. Gus Edwards with the carry there. 2 linebackers, Joe Giles Harris and Ben Humphreys. And, you know, we're talking to Dawn Davenport before the game. She talked to Ben Humphreys, and while this isn't the year they were expecting, you look at all the youth, all the young guys who had to play maybe earlier than expected. They still think the solid foundation in Durham for a quality program, especially defensively.
Yeah, did not start the season the way they wanted to, and then they hit a couple of injuries. You get a freshman quarterback that seems like he's caught his stride from the middle of the season. But this is a group in the Blue Devils, they expect to win. Now, they've done nothing but win for David Cutcliffe, their head coach.
Kaya throwing to Barrios off the mark. So that'll bring up 3rd and long. But first, let's check in with the studio for another update.
All right, guys, what a day Adoree Jackson is having at USC. I mean, a reception touchdown, a punt return touchdown, and now he's going to take a kick here and take it to the house. Just when Notre Dame thinks they're getting back into it, Adoree Jackson extends the USC lead right now over on ABC, 38-21, early 4th.
3rd and 7 from the 50. Kaya with time, overshoots Herndon. So the Blue Devils force a punt with 10:36 to play. Corbin McCarthy with the coverage.
And Duke needs something to happen in a hurry here in this 4th quarter with 10:36 left to go. They need a punt return, an explosive play on offense. They need something to turn the tide to get them back in the football game.
They come after Vogel in the block. Here comes pressure, but he gets it off. High kick, fair catch signal made at the 10, and he makes the grab. So the Blue Devils with an uphill climb when we return, down by 19 with 10:29 to play.
ESPN College Football, brought to you by State Farm. Talk to an agent today at 800-STATE-FARM. And Jared, the Galleria of Jewelry.
There's a look inside the club level here. You got to love the Larry Zonka jersey.
Oh, absolutely.
You
Every time you come down to South Florida, you either see a Marino or a Zonka or a Greasy or Warfield, something from the days of winning of Miami Dolphins, and they're trying to get back there.
They got a big one tomorrow against the 49ers here at Hard Rock Stadium, the renovated Hard Rock Stadium. Jones off the play fake, roll in the pocket to the right. And that's complete to Copenhagen for a first down. Talk about the bright future for Duke. That man right there is one of the biggest reasons. Redshirt freshman quarterback, hanging tough here. Getting a season under his belt that many expected he'd be holding a clipboard watching Thomas Sirk.
He's been running the show for the Blue Devils, that's for sure.
No doubt about that. Here comes pressure from McLeod. He gets away. Now feeling it again, makes one. Boom. Oh, wow. McLeod finally chased him down. I think Joe Jackson was in on it as well, but that's something Manny Diaz told us yesterday. He said he takes a pounding and gets right back up. He has earned our respect.
It's one thing about earning respect. It's another thing to learn the sideline is your friend sometimes, too. You know, get to the sideline, throw it away where you don't have to take that unnecessary hit.
Show me the clips of a young John Kajemi.
Well, I did.
He never went out of bounds.
You're right. I would have now.
Jones can't get anywhere near the sidelines there. Another sack. Kendrick Norton brings him down.
6'3", 305. Swim move up the middle against Austin Davis, and he gets home to sack Daniel Jones. That's impressive.
Norton and McIntosh have been disruptive and hard to block all year. And Norton just came up with his 2nd sack of the season, 3rd sack of the night for the Hurricanes. 3rd and 15. Jones over the middle. Complete to Aaron Young, well short of the first down. And the Hurricanes are all just flying to the ball.
That's what Manny Diaz, their defensive coordinator, preached to us yesterday. You know, he wants to get those big guys flying around and those little guys making aggressive hits from the secondary. And I've seen a lot of that, especially in this second half. Defense came to play after halftime.
Manny Diaz had a lot of interesting things, but I think one of the things was what you can relate to or elaborate on. He said good defense is defined by good tackling, especially in the secondary.
Yeah, especially in the open field. You get bodies flying around, it gets contagious. And that's what he preached at Mississippi State, and he brought that to the University of Miami.
I want my big guys running hard and my little guys making big hits. Right. We're going to step aside. Miami 7:52 away from another win. More rivalry weekend action later tonight, 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific on ABC. We'll have the number 15 Florida Gators and number 14 Florida State Seminoles from Tallahassee. Florida State has won 3 straight in the series. As always, it's also streaming live on the ESPN app and Watch ESPN, and the Seminole fans can breathe easier. I don't know if it was ever really serious consideration, but certainly LSU had targeted Jimbo Fisher, but he has decided to stay in Tallahassee. As LSU, Joseph Yearby taken down there after a 2-yard gain. LSU sticks with Ed Ogeron. Certainly
right.
People around this program know Coach O. He spent some time here on the Hurricane staff as an assistant, and he gets another crack as a head coach in the SEC.
Congratulations, to Coach O. He did a great job of stepping in there for Les Miles and got that team rolling a little bit.
So LSU deciding to do what USC a couple of years ago did not, after Ed Ogeron kind of stabilized the ship as an interim coach taking over for Lane Kiffin. They decided to go with Steve Sarkisian. So LSU, maybe they knew they couldn't get Tom Herman. Maybe he was going to set his sights on Texas. And now Njoku, already one big play on his resume here today, still in bounds, and he's going to go. 58 yards for the tight end.
This all starts with great play action from Brad Kyle. Watch the sell of the head and the play fake. It's everybody looking inside, and then the athleticism on the outside by Njoku. He tight ropes the sidelines, gets great block on the outside by Herndon, also by Stacy Coley down the field, and he just continues down the sideline for 6 points.
The field of a touchdown is under further review.
Yeah, they're going to take another look. I think he was in bounds, but there was that one moment there where the left foot came awfully close to hitting White. You mentioned Christopher Herndon with the block. You hate to be redundant, but all you can think of when you see Njoku running down the field like that is matchup nightmare. But let's see.
He was close to the sideline right about there.
That's the one. That's the step right there. That looks like he's out of bounds, but that's not definitive. I don't think you can overturn a play on that. I think you're going to need to look at that angle from above.
You need indisputable video evidence. This one might be, the left toe looks like it's in bounds.
Yeah, I think that looks good there.
Yeah, I think it's in bounds. I think this play is going to stand.
I certainly have not seen enough to overturn a touchdown.
After review, the ruling on the field stands. Touchdown.
There you go. So his second game with 2 touchdowns on the season. He also had 2 against Pitt. A week ago, he had a career high 6 catches. Miami in control 40-14.
It's been a highlight reel afternoon and evening for David Njoku. He's been able to tightrope down the sidelines for 6 points and take Miami to a 40-14 lead.
A reminder, our Week 12 Monday Night Football matchup has Aaron Rodgers and the Packers taking on Carson Wentz and the Eagles. That's at 8:15 Eastern on ESPN. Our coverage begins with Monday Night Countdown, served by Applebee's at 6, also streaming live on Watch ESPN. 30 unanswered points by the Hurricanes. They were trailing at one point 14-10. Wilson from the 1. Stops on a dime and then goes down. Tremendous coverage by the Hurricanes special teams. Now let's take a look at our Pacific Life game summary. And as we start, as I mentioned, things started out okay for the Blue Devils.
It really did, but it was all Brad Kaya, it seemed like, in that second half, the third quarter and the fourth quarter. 396, a season high with 4 touchdowns. Stacy Coley, a season high of 118 receiving yards and a touchdown. And then on the other side for the Duke Blue Devils, Daniel Jones, 26 completions for 223 and 2 touchdowns. So Miami Hurricanes have had 5 drives of 60 yards or more, and it's a record-setting night as well for Brad Kaya.
That pass knocked down, almost intercepted on the deflection. Michael Jackson got his hand on it. 4th pass knocked down. Mike Smith almost got his hands on it for a pick.
The Miami defense has been able to get their hands on the football in the throwing lanes probably 3 or 4 times, and they just anticipate so well along the line of scrimmage.
Another wide receiver screen to Ramming, gets a key block, gets the first down out to the 30, gets by another man out across the 35. So that play has been here throughout the afternoon for the Blue Devils, and it picks up 26 there.
It was there in the first quarter. You know, when this game was a football game, it was there. Duke had control of the tempo, kind of had a chance to move the football offensively, but haven't been able to do much since.
Jones keeps it himself and runs right into traffic. Michael Pickney with another tackle. So Ramming with his 3rd straight 100-yard receiving game after that screen. See, the action continues tonight. More football here in the Sunshine State. So a long day of football for the college football fans here in Florida. Jones with time, complete to Taylor at midfield.
You mentioned more football in the Sunshine State. How about Florida State seniors? They're trying to finish their careers going 8-0, a sweep of the rivals from Florida and Miami.
Those are the games you're defined by. You know, we heard it all morning on game day about Michigan and Ohio State. It's the rivalry games that everyone remembers and that you love to talk about if you can pull them off. That's a low throw. Florida has to turn right around and get ready for Alabama. They'll be all locked in on the Seminoles tonight, looking to snap that losing streak. Taylor open down the sideline, knocked out of bounds by Carter, but a good hookup for the Blue Devils.
A couple of nice throws down the field by Daniel Jones in this drive. He's been very accurate with the screens, but pushing the football down the field here. Nice strength on the ball on the outside of the numbers, and the catch by Taylor.
Quay man in the backfield with Jones after the 22-yard pickup. Moves it down to the Miami 27. Jones drops it off to Schneider. Gets to the 21. And I tell you, this second half, Miami has been gang tackling. They've been swarming to the ball carrier.
They have been running to the football, and that's when you take a look and you think about Miami defense in the day, back in the 80s and the 90s, and you know when they were winning championships, that defense ran from sideline to sideline, and you saw a bunch of orange around the football.
Pressure coming on Jones and incomplete. They say it was a backward pass, so no whistle. Right now, it looks like Trent Harris is going to bring this in for a touchdown if he can make it, and he does. Now, from the naked eye, that looked like a forward pass. Certainly didn't look like a catch up here at real speed, but
let's take another look. Daniel Jones is going to throw this football out to his left.
No.
It's definitely not a catch. The question in my mind initially, was it a backwards throw?
That's what I thought, make it a lateral.
And that didn't look like initially that it was. Let's take a look and see where Daniel Jones lets this football go. That looks downhill to me, number one, so it's not a backwards throw, and it's definitely not a catch. So that play is going to come back.
Good awareness, though, by Harris and the Hurricanes to not give up on the play and play through the whistle. We have seen over the years where the defense just gives up because they assume it's an incomplete pass. But certainly I think that one's going to be overturned.
The one thing you like about the Miami defense and the way they've played tonight is their aggressiveness. And this is the way you practice. You know, the ball's on the ground, you're going to take it up, you're going to scoop and score no matter what and ask questions later. And that's exactly what Trent Harris did on this play. But clearly the ball wasn't caught, and it was going towards the line of scrimmage.
Now the call on the field, as John mentioned, was a reception which was then fumbled. And was not called a backward pass and a lateral. So you're taking a look at, first, did he ever have possession? I don't think he did.
Clearly, it didn't look like a catch to me.
And it also clearly looked like a forward pass. Pretty quick decision made upstairs.
After review, the ruling on the field is an incomplete pass. The ball will be brought back to the previous spot. It will be 3rd down. Please reset the game clock to 4:28.
Well, Trent gets a blow. There's no reason to run 72 yards for nothing and not get a break.
He was going, Coach, you think I could take, 3rd down, get a chance to regroup here on the sidelines?
There's a look at Manny Diaz. Grew up in the Miami area, went to Florida State, got his first job with the Seminoles, had a chance to talk to Chuck Amato, who was his mentor when he started in the coaching business, and he said, he was, as a GA, the one thing I knew, I could give Manny a job and he'd get it done right the first time. Some GAs, it takes them a little bit long. You got to send them back to do it the right way. Manny was always smart enough to figure out what I wanted right away. 9th play of the drive here for the Blue Devils after they get the ball back. The GB in the backfield with Jones. Here comes pressure. He gets rid of it to Taylor. And it looks like it's going to be a 1st down. Now,
good strong catch by Chris Taylor in tight coverage. This drive will continue around the 16-yard line.
So GB in the backfield again with Jones. False start on the Blue Devils.
False start by the offense, number 63. 5-yard penalty. 1st down.
We've talked about the roller coaster ride for Miami. How about for Duke? Here's if we just told you on the surface, hey, you know what, Duke, you're going to win at Notre Dame and you're going to beat North Carolina. Where do we sign up?
That's right.
You would think, but that's not the way the rest of the year played out. An upset loss early in ACC play to Clemson at home. Then they didn't build on any of the momentum from the win in South Bend. Now there's a grab by Schneider in traffic inside the 15.
I thought we might see a little bit more of that play to replace some of the running, because it's going to be tough sledding against Miami running the football, it seemed like tonight. So you replace that with some tight end, easy throws in front of you.
Pressure coming up the middle. Another tunnel screen to Ramming, but this time he gets tripped up. Well, that pass almost got knocked down as well. And another tackle for Jamal Carter forces 3rd down. As we approach 3 minutes left in this ball game. Certainly one thing you don't have to worry about in this program is the leadership of that man. He is one of the best in the business. Certainly has it in perspective. Now Jones, after the blitz is picked up momentarily, gets out of the pocket. Throws into the end zone, has a man. Touchdown, Duke. Quay Chambers with the grab. 12-yard gain.
I just love the competitiveness of Daniel Jones. This game, 2:41 left to go. You're down by a significant amount, and he continues to extend plays. He continues to compete with his legs in terms of running the football and grinding out 1st downs, and they're finding a receiver for 6.
First Duke point since 14:54 left in the 2nd quarter. The extra point is good.
Daniel Jones continues to impress me every time I've seen him play. This is a guy that gets better and better, and he keeps competing, and that's where you're going to get to the next level as a program. And he finds Chambers in the back of the end zone, but it's his athleticism that gets him out on the perimeter. Square up and fire, young man, and he's on target for the touchdown.
And there you take a look at that white jersey. That's all you need to know about the afternoon and night it's been here in Miami for Daniel Jones. He has stood tall in that pocket. He has taken a pounding, but he has not flinched and has not backed down.
Well, there's no teacher like experience, and he's getting plenty of it this season in terms of good and some not so good. But his play has continued to get better and better after that Virginia game where he threw a few interceptions, not all on him, but he did have a few turnovers in that football game. And he's been finding ways to protect the football, finding ways to get his team in the end zone, and that's why head coach David Cutcliffe is so high on his young quarterback.
And he came in with 123 straight passes without an interception. That's continued. Here comes the squibbit. So that does not accomplish anything that they were looking for as it goes out of bounds. Let's check in with the studio for an update.
Gentlemen, here's what's coming up next on ESPN2. Davis Webb in firm control of that Cal offense, very prolific. Could see some numbers put on the board here as they take on UCLA. Kicking off in about 5 minutes right here on ESPN2, guys.
First down.
All right, looking forward to that one. It's another busy Saturday of important college football games. Coach Cutcliffe certainly was not happy with that kick going out of bounds for Will Klein. Again, he said he's never had to endure a year like this with adversity on and off the field with injuries. We have a new quarterback for Miami. As Brad Kaya's night is done, Malik Rozier, sophomore out of Mobile, Alabama, takes over. They run it right up the middle with Travis Homer, true freshman out of West Palm Beach, Florida. 6th carry of the season. So Kaya finishes with a season high 396 yards. His career high was 405 last year against Florida State. 4 touchdowns to 3 different receivers.
I'd say he's pretty happy becoming the career leading passer in Miami history.
Now they wait to see what bowl game they go to and really try to, you talk about changing the culture and turning things around. Ending on a high note, getting into that postseason, you always hear about the extra practices and really a chance to then head into, recruiting and spring ball with some momentum, some juice.
Getting their full complement of scholarships and getting on the road where they can go out and change what they want to change. Mark Richt came in with a winning culture at Georgia. He's been a winner throughout his whole coaching career, and he wants to come back to his alma mater and instantly get to that point. Fans want it yesterday. Coaches know it's going to take tomorrow, but they're going to need recruits and a full complement of scholarships and doing it the right way.
And not only did he go here as we take another look at DeAndre Singleton down again. He was injured earlier in the ball game. Senior out of Georgia, one of those leaders in the back end. When you talk about Mark Richt taking over this program, when Georgia made its decision, it just seemed like a no-brainer. I mean, he went here, he knew the ACC from his time at Florida State, and as you were telling me yesterday, you know what? He played here in high school, so I mean, he's going to know the coaches that you need to know, and he's going to know the programs that you need to know.
It's very easy when you're in the Tri-County area here in West Palm and Broward and Dade. If you can't find 5 guys that can run routes, you're in trouble. And Mark's going to get his, pick of the litter. There's going to be everybody going to come down and try to take that low-hanging fruit, but you should be able to get who you want out of those 3 counties and go from there.
That's why, to be honest with you, when I hear some of the pundits last year, when the Al Golden thing didn't work out and they made a change saying, Miami's not a great job anymore. It's not what it was. I'm like, what is a great job then if it's not Miami? I mean, how many
were on campus yesterday. How nice was that?
But I mean, when 4 guys, I think 4 different guys won championships, it's a good job.
That's
now,
right.
Granted, they were all great coaches, don't get me wrong, but the foundation is here to be great.
Yes.
They will take this down on 3rd and 1, and if get a first down, that'll be all she wrote.
The good thing about Coach Richt, he has his son on the staff, and John, and from Boca Raton, Florida, so he gets to see his granddaughter. He gets to a lot of things that you don't get at certain places, and he's coming back home. So he wants to make this trip probably more fruitful than even the time he had at Georgia.
Rozier rolls out, looking to get the first down and stay in bounds. He's looking for more, and he could get more. One block away, and they bring him down at the 10. Jeremy McDuffie kept him out of the end zone, but Malik wanted his second touchdown of the season, but he has to settle for a 49-yard run.
Yeah, Malik was motoring down the Miami sideline, that's for sure. And Coach Cutcliffe just wants to get his team back in the locker room and get him out of here. This was a disappointing year, but a lot of smiles on the Miami sidelines. I would think this might just be a kneel down here to close it out.
That's what Coach Rick just called victory formation, and let's go. So Coach Cutcliffe's program will not get to 5-7. But Miami ends the regular season with 4 straight wins and a dominant second half. Brad Kaya did it on the offensive end, and Mark Rick's defense came to play as well. Our final score, Miami 40, Duke 21. Miami will go bowling. For John Kangemi and our entire crew, I'm Eamon McEnany. Miami gets to enjoy another victory, but now let's take you out to Berkeley, California, where the UCLA Bruins are taking on the California Golden Bears. Here's Mark Jones, Rod Gilmore, and Quint